Hey, T Sipper. Hey, T Sipper. Let's go. I gotta tap in. It's a lot. La 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 going on. People's lives are in danger. I'm hoping that she is just taking a vacation and not because she have to, but because she wants to. Hey, Clarinetta. Where's my other one? Um, yeah. And I hope in your president, oh my God, he getting exposed, he getting busted in all of his lies and deceits. It was somebody else. Uh, every time I felt like that old song, every time I turn around, when I something. Every time I turn around, back. Now I ain't back in love again, but you know, every time I turn around, it was something after something after something. I just couldn't get it together. But they saying that Kanye is telling her to hang low, get up, move, get out the way, get out the way. That the threats are real and everything. So, because I had some other stuff I wanted to tap into, but let's tap into this. Hopefully I won't be here long. Please come in hitting the like button. I got to give me something to eat. Oh, please don't tell Mrs. Tom I ain't ate all day. I mean all day. I don't know what that's about. Oh, I did eat some pumpkin seeds. Maybe because I need to ask her. Because I'm trying to do that cleanse, that parasite. I did that metal cleanse last week or the week before. So now I am on this parasite cleanse. So yeah, I had some pumpkin seeds. But let's get started. Let me listen to these little shorts real quick. Let's see.
We had to build up every other country with programs. We had to spread democracy in the Middle East. That's been a remarkable failure. And at the same time, our veterans are coming home and they're being treated like crap. We talked about the farmers, we talked about the ranchers. That was the vision that Donald Trump painted that made me get behind him. And I took a lot of bullets for that. And I still don't regret voting for him against Kamala Harris because I still believe he was a better candidate. But this is a betrayal, plain and simple. There's no other way to say that. Well, let's be clear. Right now, people applauding Donald Trump are Meghan McCain, Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz ran against Donald Trump, and John McCain, with his dying breath, was a never-Trumper, with his dying breath. And I remember Meghan McCain standing at his funeral saying, "This country was always great. It never needed to be made great again," to take a stab at Trump, even as she was giving words for her father, which is remarkable, right? So if Trump is aligning himself with the people that didn't support him, and the people that did support him are saying what he's doing is wrong, that doesn't mean that MAGA betrayed Trump. That means that Trump is betraying MAGA, okay? MAGA is a term, Make America Great Again, and it was because the American people felt like our country was in a steep decline while we were being told that we had to build up every other country with programs. We had to spread democracy in the Middle East. That's been a remarkable failure. And at the same time, our veterans are coming home and they're being treated like crap. We talked about the farmers, we talked about the ranchers. That was the vision that Donald Trump painted that made me get behind him. And I took a lot of bullets for that. And I still don't regret voting for him against Kamala Harris because I still believe he was a better candidate. But this is a betrayal, plain and simple. There's no other way to say that. Well, let's be clear. Right now, the people applauding Donald Trump are Meghan McCain, Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz ran against Donald Trump, and John McCain, with his dying... The Zionist lobby, Gaetz, and Tucker Carlson, they have sent virtually every foot soldier that they have available to attack us repeatedly. It terrifies me to think that on the day that Charlie died, I got multiple phone calls from people who said that me and Tucker should lay low because we're also on the list. And they never told us who specifically told them that, by the way. Now I'm wondering why they never told us who specifically told them that. I called Tucker, I'm like, are you hearing the same thing I'm hearing? They're saying that we're next. And now I go, was that supposed to be a threat?
Oh, yes.
To have us watch the public execution of a friend of ours and then to call us and to say, you should lay low for a little bit. And that's terrifying and that's real. And these people that we are fighting are dangerous, okay? Do not underestimate them.
Do you believe Candace? Comment below.
Yeah, so hold on, let me see.
They have sent virtually every...
Let me get it to... They are saying that it is real. I wouldn't be surprised. All I know is they don't like being exposed. That is for sure. They do not like being exposed. Let's go.
Turning hiding spots into honey holes. Some stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that you're a glorified slave. That's what I'm saying. I'm like...
Okay, y'all, please come in hitting the like button for me, please.
You're a glorified slave. You're a glorified slave, man. Like, why would you want to be a glorified slave? Culture will always be upstream from politics. Whoever can control culture can control politics. Like you getting political, you're talking about 2024, you being open to different ideas, different conversations, you wearing a MAGA hat. You're broken in that. I have them all to information share with Max Blumenthal, with people, people all over the place, to send a package and say, if anything happens to me and it looks suspicious, release it all. Girl, y'all need to grab a seat for this one because the whole investigation into the Charlie Kirk shooting just took a dark turn. And Candace Owens might be in way deeper than any of us thought. Word on the street is that Kanye West himself has allegedly told Candace to go into hiding because sources claim she might be next on the list. Yeah, it's getting that serious. But here's where things get even crazier. New information suggests that Charlie Kirk actually knew there was danger looming before the Utah talk show, but someone close to him advised him to go anyway. Like, what? Now the real question everyone's asking is, did someone inside Turning Point America set Charlie up? And more importantly, who's coming for Candace next? Let's break this down, because this is getting really dark. So, in case you missed it, the whole Charlie Kirk shooting has turned the internet into one big detective squad. Everyone's out here digging for clues, trying to figure out who really pulled the trigger, especially since the FBI has pretty much shown they can't be trusted with this investigation. And y'all, Candace Owens isn't sitting this one out either. She's been running her own private investigation, not just because she was super close to Charlie and sits on the board of Turning Point America, but because she believes that nobody deserves to be executed on live TV just for having an opinion. Now, Candace has been on a roll lately, calling out and debunking a bunch of the FBI's claims about the whole Charlie Kirk shooting. One of the biggest things she's been pushing back on is the story that Tyler Robinson was the shooter, you know, the guy the feds supposedly caught, after releasing his photo to the public. But according to Candace, that story just doesn't hold up. She's been saying Tyler couldn't have been the shooter, not only...
Nope.
Who's coming for Candace next? Let's break this down, because this is getting really dark. So, in case you missed it, the whole Charlie Kirk shooting has turned the internet into one big detective squad. Everyone's out here digging for clues, trying to figure out who really pulled the trigger, especially since the FBI has pretty much shown they can't be trusted with this investigation. And y'all, Candace Owens isn't sitting this one out either. She's been running her own private investigation, not just because she was super close to Charlie and sits on the board of Turning Point America, but because she believes that nobody deserves to be executed on live TV just for having in
for the
opinions.
floating
Now,
hearts
Candace has
and the
been on a roll lately,
flowers.
calling out and debunking a bunch of the FBI's claims about the whole Charlie Kirk shooting. One of the biggest things she's been pushing back on is the story that Tyler Robinson was the shooter, you know, the guy the feds supposedly caught, after releasing his photo to the public. But according to Candace, that story just doesn't hold up. She's been saying Tyler couldn't have been the shooter, not only because he's never even been on Utah Valley University's campus, but also because he has partial paralysis in his right foot.
I just got a tip that busts the CK case wide open. Tyler Robinson has
Hold on,
partial
y'all.
paralysis in his right leg. And that's how people identified him, not from the photographs.
And his family, who has since been interrogated, specifically stated to FBI interrogators that because of the video that the FBI released at my direction, because of the photographs that they released, they identified their son.
This means that his unusual gait, his limp, was not because there was a rifle down his pants. And those of us with eyeballs already knew this. But this confirms it. This also explains why we never saw a perp walk, why they used all these still photos, and why they only showed him limping one time when he's on the way. So that they could run the narrative that the weapon was down his skinny jeans and nobody could see it. The invisible rifle, right?
And y'all remember that viral clip of the alleged shooter taking off right after the shot? Yeah, Candace's point is simple. There's no way Tyler could have run that fast. Physically, it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, Lord, yeah. Hold on, y'all. Oh, yeah, I heard. Oh,
And get this, it didn't take long before internet detectives started digging and found old videos of Tyler limping, including one from a police body cam right after he was in a car accident. So now, people are starting to question if the feds got the wrong guy on purpose, or if there's way more to this story than they're letting on. Candace shocked everybody when she announced she wouldn't be attending Charlie's memorial.
Okay, y'all, for the ones that just came in, I'm doing. Oh, yeah, because, oh, Lord, I got to remember to show y'all this one. Hold on. Hold on. I'm wondering if the lawyer is going to use that to get him out. Gonna have to. Oh, I heard something today. I was about to say I found out. Well, I heard something today that is mind-blowing. Oh, man. I think, okay, so hold on. I'm trying to order something to eat, y'all. Cause I got a feeling we gonna be here for a minute on this one. And yeah, they saying, oh, Charlie, not Charlie, Tyler. I'm trying to order some. Bear with me, y'all. And I think these people are lost. I think that's what they're telling me, that they are lost. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna play it, but remind me to show y'all about his foot. Yeah. Okay, y'all. Let me play it, and I'll be right back. Let me go meet these. I'm gonna start over, and then remind me to play it.
Control culture and control policies. Like you getting political, you talking about 2024.
Remind me about the foot to show his what they said about the foot.
The broken internet.
Okay. I'll be right back.
I'm like, you're a glorified slave. You're a glorified slave, man. Like, why would you want to be a glorified slave? Culture will always be upstream from politics. Whoever can control culture can control politics. Like you getting political, you talking about 2024, you being open, different ideas, different conversations, you wearing a MAGA hat. You're broken internet. I have them all to information share with Max Blumenthal, with people, people all over the place, to send a package and say, if anything happens to me and it looks suspicious, release it all. Girl, y'all need to grab a seat for this one because the whole investigation into the Charlie Kirk shooting just took a dark turn, and Candace Owens might be in way deeper than any of us thought. Word on the street is that Kanye West himself has allegedly told Candace to go into hiding because sources claim she might be next on the list. Yeah, it's getting that serious. But here's where things get even crazier. New information suggests that Charlie Kirk actually knew there was danger looming before the Utah talk show, but someone close to him advised him to go anyway. Like, what? Now the real question everyone's asking is, did someone inside Turning Point America set Charlie up? And more importantly, who's coming for Candace next? Let's break this down, because this is getting really dark. So, in case you missed it, the whole Charlie Kirk shooting has turned the internet into one big detective squad. Everyone's out here digging for clues, trying to figure out who really pulled the trigger, especially since the FBI has pretty much shown they can't be trusted with this investigation. And y'all, Candace Owens isn't sitting this one out either. She's been running her own private investigation, not just because she was super close to Charlie and sits on the board of Turning Point America, but because she believes that nobody deserves to be executed on live TV just for having an opinion. Now, Candace has been on a roll lately, calling out and debunking a bunch of the FBI's claims about the whole Charlie Kirk shooting. One of the biggest things she's been pushing back on is the story that Tyler Robinson was the shooter, the guy the feds supposedly caught, after releasing his photo to the public. But according to Candace, that story just doesn't hold up. She's been saying Tyler couldn't have been the shooter, not only because he's never even been on Utah Valley University's campus, but also because he has partial paralysis in his right foot.
I just got a tip that busts the CK case wide open. Tyler Robinson has partial paralysis in his right leg, and that's how people identified him, not from the photographs.
And his family, who has since been interrogated, specifically stated to FBI interrogators that because of the video that the FBI released at my direction, because of the photographs that they released, they identified their son.
This means that his unusual gait, his limp, was not because there was a rifle down his pants, and those of us with eyeballs already knew this. But this confirms it. This also explains why we never saw a perp walk, why they use all these still photos, and why they only showed him limping one time when he's on the way. So that they could run the narrative that the weapon was down his skinny jeans and nobody could see it. The invisible rifle, right?
And y'all remember that viral clip of the alleged shooter taking off right after the shot? Yeah, Candace's point is simple. There's no way Tyler could have run that fast. Physically, it just doesn't make sense. And get this, it didn't take long before internet detectives started digging and found old videos of Tyler limping, including one from a police body cam right after he was in a car accident. So now, people are starting to question if the feds got the wrong guy on purpose, or if there's way more to this story than they're letting on. Candace shocked everybody when she announced she wouldn't be attending Charlie's memorial. Instead, she said she'd be spending the entire day with Kanye West. And get this, according to her, the memorial was being organized by the same FBI officials who she claims are trying to cover up who framed Tyler Robinson and hide the identity of the real shooter.
I said there was no way.
we are going to this event now. There's a 0% chance. First and foremost, why are you saying invite anybody can go to it? You just buy a ticket to the event, and you're all working to try to get me to confirm that I'm going. And you're doing this as if you're trying to like push my buttons and be like, we got to make her get into her ego so she like shows up and like posts it on social media. Nope, actually, you know, while I'm attacking the feds, maybe not going to a public event, which the feds are organizing, is probably a very good idea. I'm good. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna listen to Power on my headphones and go see Ye. How's that for a memorial for Charlie Kirk? That feels like the right thing for me to do right now.
Now, that decision caught fans completely off guard. I mean, Candace and Charlie were known to be friends, so people felt the memorial would have been the perfect moment for her to honor him one last time, but Candace made it clear she wasn't about to stand alongside the very people she believes are covering up the truth behind Charlie's death. Now, y'all remember when Candace said she believed someone inside Turning Point America might have set Charlie up? Well, investigations into the shooting took a wild twist after Candace dropped a screenshot of a text exchange between Charlie and a staff member from Turning Point America. In those messages, Charlie was allegedly opening up about his pro-Israel stance and how he was seriously considering quitting. He even mentioned wanting to bring Candace back into the fold while the person on the other end was trying to talk him out of it, telling him to stay firm on his views because major donors were already threatening to pull their money and support if he actually decided to walk away. Josh Hammer, a staff member at Turning Point America, later confirmed that the leaked screenshot was real and that he was the one texting with Charlie.
But I want to take the start of this show to address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic. And I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there.
That revelation alone had the internet absolutely stunned because the text confirmed Candace's story about Charlie's refusal to continue to push the pro-Israel views. But just when everyone thought things couldn't get any crazier, the story took an even darker turn. Fans started digging and uncovered an old post Josh made barely 24 hours before Charlie was shot. And y'all, it's chilling. He had replied to a 12-year-old Donald Trump tweet that said, "Should be public execution for all to see. You will end this bullshit fast." Josh's reply, just two haunting words: public execution. The timing of that post paired with those leaked texts showing Charlie torn over his pro-Israel stance sent the internet into complete chaos. People began speculating that Josh Hammer could have been the mole inside Turning Point America, the one who might have played a role in setting Charlie up. And now fans are genuinely worried for Candace Owens, because from the way things are shaping up, Josh might have had a much bigger hand in all this than anyone first thought. While Candace has been dropping receipts, trying to prove Charlie was actually planning to step back from his pro-Israel stance, Josh was out there publicly pushing a completely different story, claiming Charlie was still fully aligned with Israel and that nothing had changed. Even more chilling, reports say Candace found documents suggesting Charlie had serious doubts about attending that Utah event after receiving a flood of threats. He reportedly wanted to postpone the talk, but according to her, the mole inside Turning Point, believed by many to be Josh, encouraged him to go anyway. And sadly, that decision may have been what sealed his fate. But it didn't take long before Kanye West jumped into the conversation. And y'all know Kanye and Candace go way back. According to inside sources, Kanye allegedly told Candace to lie low or seriously tighten up her security because she might be next in line to get taken out. The source claims Kanye believes Candace is this close to uncovering who was really behind the Charlie Kirk shooting and exposing the real mole inside Turning Point America. Even though most signs are allegedly pointing toward Josh Hammer, Kanye reportedly said they still need solid proof to nail him. Apparently, the FBI and even the people behind the shooting never expected Candace to dig this deep. And now, if she actually manages to crack the case, it could lead to people questioning the credibility of the FBI and other connected agencies. So it's not just the shooters who might want her silenced. There could also be powerful people trying to keep this whole thing buried. One thing we know about Candace is that she would always fight to the end. Even though she appreciates Kanye's advice, she has still decided to continue investigating Charlie's death. And according to her, instead of her running, she initiated a dead man switch, with most of her findings shared among people she knows. And if by any chance they get her, all information will be released to the public. Kanye, exposing how Candace Owens might be the next target, had fans talking, and they left comments saying, "I like their friendship. The loyalty, love, and mutual respect they have is beautiful, and we know they will defend each other no matter what happens. I trust this queen has a media rollout that activates upon her death. She shuts the countdown every morning when she wakes up, if she ever doesn't. Showtime. Love me some Candace. Crazy girl. They won't touch Candace. They know she's crazy like this and has hella receipts that would be exposed if she got killed. She's safe, but she's swimming in dangerous waters with what she's exposing. Prayers for Candace. So, what do y'all think? Is Candace Owens' life really in danger, like Kanye's claiming? Or do you think Kanye might have gotten this one completely wrong?
I don't know what to say because she done left and went out of town, but I know I came back and it's only saying 18 likes. And I need for y'all to get the likes up. Double tap the screen. Harvey, let me. Double tap the face of the screen. What is this one?
So Tyler's guilty. That's what they want you to believe. But I know who made the call.
Let's jump into it.
There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul.
Tucker Carlson just exposed who ordered Charlie Kirk's hit, revealing the hidden power network he says has been pulling the strings from the shadows all along.
Charlie Kirk was 2 weeks ago today in an event that clearly is going to change American history, changed a lot of people inside. And there was a moment in the first week where you thought to yourself, this is going to have effects. A lot of them are going to be bad, but some of them are probably going to be good because Charlie's life was itself so good. Charlie Kirk spent his life above all trying to live the Christian gospel and trying to live the principle of free speech, which is to say he talked and he also listened. He was most famous for traveling from college campus to college campus and asking people who disagreed with him to confront him. Ask me anything, he said, and he sat there patiently as they did, and they often attacked him. They almost always expressed views he found repugnant, and almost always he took those views seriously and answered the questions put to him as crisply and honestly as he could. That's what he spent his life doing, and in fact, he was while doing that.
Tucker asserts that one lesson from Charlie Kirk's life is that sincere Christians are, at their core, genuinely decent people, grounded in faith, conviction, and a sense of purpose that stands out in a cynical world.
So if there's any lesson from Charlie Kirk's life, well, the first lesson would probably be sincere Christians tend to be really decent people. Maybe we should have more of them. But the more secular temporal lesson is that free speech is a virtue. It is, in fact, the foundation of this country, not only its laws, but its culture, and that we should protect it. And maybe if we seek to honor Charlie Kirk, we should emulate it. Maybe we should begin by asking our politicians to do what Charlie Kirk spent his life doing, which is to answer the question. Just calmly answer the question. We'll ask you anything, and then you go ahead and answer it to the best of your ability. Like, for example, who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline? What happened to all the money we sent to you? Why haven't you released all the JFK files? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All the questions on your mind that slowly drive you crazy because no one will address them. Why don't we just ask them directly to our leaders and they get to answer? Nothing.
Tucker asserts that nothing would honor Charlie Kirk's memory more than defending free speech, the very principle he lived by and refused to compromise, no matter the cost.
Nothing would honor Charlie Kirk's memory
Candace
more than
is
that.
right about
That is free
everything
speech
she
in
said.
action.
They know it.
But nothing
I
like that
pray for her,
happened.
too.
Instead, the only real conversation we've had about free speech has been about Jimmy Kimmel,
Hold on.
who is hardly a champion, et cetera, et
Okay,
cetera.
y'all,
All the
I'm not
questions
gonna be
on your
here long if
mind
y'all can't get
that
the
slowly
likes
drive
up.
you
I'm gonna tell
crazy
y'all
because
that
no one
now.
will address them. Why don't we just ask them directly to our leaders and they get to answer?
I already know how
Nothing.
this is gonna go.
Tucker asserts that nothing would honor Charlie Kirk's memory more than defending free speech, the very principle he lived by and refused to compromise, no matter the cost.
Nothing would honor Charlie Kirk's memory more than that. That is free speech in action. But nothing like that happened. Instead, the only real conversation we've had about free speech has been about Jimmy Kimmel, who is hardly a champion of free speech. In fact, just the opposite. He's a nasty little censor, talentless, a person who has many times on camera over the years chuckled and applauded as other people, his political enemies, have been silenced. A guy who has so little influenced American society and so little audience, he was on his way out anyway, has the job only as a result of some kind of weird political affirmative action where people who agree with studio heads get to have late night jobs. He is hardly the person who should be taking up the cause of free speech or become a symbol of it, because of course he's the symbol of censorship and has been for most of his career. Only someone who appreciates the person he's speaking to as an actual human being could speak that way. Notice how rare that is. It's been noted in the past couple of days, Charlie was a free speech champion. Absolutely he was, and I pray that that's his legacy. But I also think it's important to explain why that mattered to him. It was not abstract in any sense. It was central. It was the core. Because consider what it means if you don't respect free speech, which is another way of saying free conscience, the right of other people to make up their own minds about the basic questions of what is right or wrong, and to express their views on those issues. If you don't acknowledge the right of other people to do that, and if you take steps to prevent them from doing that, what are you really saying? You're really saying, I don't think you have a soul. I think you're a meat puppet I can control. I think you're an animal, maybe sub-animal. You're a person to whom I can dictate belief. I don't acknowledge that you have the right to come to your own conclusion is another way of saying I don't acknowledge that you're a human being. It's dark. There's nothing darker than that. And trust me, they believe it, the ones who've thought about it. And there are a lot of those. But for a lot of people, particularly those who are just repeating what they think they should say or responding to the momentary rage of the moment, they just throw stuff out. And we've got to hope that the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, is in that category. She said this just yesterday.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Tucker claims that the establishment now draws a false line between free speech and hate speech, using that divide to decide which voices get silenced and which are allowed to speak.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. This is the Attorney General of the United States, the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States, telling you that there's this other category called hate speech, and of course the implication is there's almost no sentence that Charlie Kirk, and I'm not running the risk of appropriating his memory for my own ends by saying this, it's provable. There's no sentence that Charlie Kirk would have objected to more than that. And you've got to think the Attorney General didn't think it through and was not attempting to desecrate the memory of the person she was purporting to celebrate, that she just threw that out there, that she hadn't thought about it. You hope that. You hope that Charlie Kirk won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country. And trust me, if it is, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever, and there never will be. Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think, there is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes. Not to hurt other people, but to express his views. And by the way, that thinking, not to pile on the Attorney General, who's a very nice person, but that thinking that she just articulated on camera there is exactly what got us to a place where some huge and horrifying percentage of young people think it's okay to people you disagree with for saying things they don't like.
Tucker believes free speech was crushed after years of school indoctrination that taught people to fear opposing ideas.
Why do they believe that? How did we get here? Is it the video games? Is it the SSRIs? Yeah, probably, but what it really is 12 and then 16 years of indoctrination in our schools at the hands of people who tell them that, who say exactly what the Attorney General just said. Well, there's free speech, which of course we all acknowledge is important, so important. But then there's this thing called hate speech. Hate speech, of course, is any speech that the people in power hate, but they don't define it that way. They define it as speech that hurts people, speech that is tantamount to violence. And we punish violence, don't we? Of course we do. They've been taught that every year of their lives. And so naturally, most of them believe it. So when Charlie Kirk is in the throat with a 30-06 on camera, I doubt very many young Americans want to see something like that or actually applaud the death of a man, a father, a husband. But they've been told for their entire lives in schools exactly what Pam Bondi just told them. Well, there's free speech, but then there's also hate speech, and woe to those who engage in it because that's a lie. And it's a lie that denies the humanity of the people you're telling it about. And so any attempt to impose hate speech laws in this country, and trust me, there are a lot of people who would like them. There are a lot of people who'd like to codify their own beliefs by punishing those under the U.S. Code who disagree with their beliefs. Any attempt to do that is a denial of the humanity of American citizens and cannot be allowed under any circumstances. That's got to be the red line. Because again, when they can do that, what can't they do? And this is something, by the way, that Charlie thought about a lot and that I had occasion to talk to him about a lot. And I really don't want to make any of this about me because it has nothing to do with me. But I did have reason to have these conversations with Charlie a lot, many, many times over the past 3 or 4 months. And this began at an event that he held in Florida in July, the TPUSA M-Fest event, Turning Point event. I often go. I always have the best time. I always see Charlie ahead of time. We have a cup of coffee in a hotel room, talk about what's going on. In addition to being, of course, a conservative advocate, he was also a conservative organizer, a coalition builder, and he was very involved in politics in a way that I'm not, so it was interesting as hell. But it was also a way to learn what young people are thinking about, talking about, because he was on college campuses all the time, and what is the state of a couple of big debates that are happening within the Republican coalition, particularly around foreign policy. And Charlie's views on foreign policy, which I think are fairly well known now, a lot of people lying about them, were evolving, but had really evolved. People with power don't want to hear disagreement. They don't want to be challenged. Tyler's fingerprints, whose fingerprints were on the story?
Who what?
Tucker Carlson just exposed who ordered Charlie Kirk's hit, pointing to the hidden powers he says have been pulling the strings from the shadows.
And there are certain parts of the intel world
which are
They
allowed
say
to
he
speak.
don't.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. This is the Attorney General of the United States, the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States, telling you that there's this other category called hate speech, and of course the implication is there's almost no sentence that Charlie Kirk, and I'm not running the risk of appropriating his memory for my own ends by saying this, it's provable. There's no sentence that Charlie Kirk would have objected to more than that. And you've got to think the Attorney General didn't think it through and was not attempting to desecrate the memory of the person she was purporting to celebrate, that she just threw that out there, that she hadn't thought about it. You hope that. You hope that Charlie Kirk won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country.
Join
And
ICE
trust me,
with
if it
bonuses
is,
up to
Well, we have it there.
$50,000 and generous.
there is never
They
a more
make every.
justified moment for civil
Oh,
disobedience
I'm
than that, ever.
I'm
and
trying
there
to
never will be.
remember.
Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes. Not to hurt other people, but to express his views. And by the way, that thinking, not to pile on the Attorney General, who's a very nice person, but that thinking that she just articulated on camera there is exactly what got us to a place where some huge and horrifying percentage of young people think it's okay to people you disagree with for saying things they don't like.
Tucker believes free speech was crushed after years of school indoctrination that taught people to fear opposing ideas.
Why do they believe that? How did we get here? Is it the video games? Is it the SSRIs? Yeah, probably, but what it really is is 12 and then 16 years of indoctrination in our schools at the hands of people who tell them that, who say exactly what the Attorney General just said. Well, there's free speech, which of course we all acknowledge is important, so important, but then there's this thing called hate speech. Hate speech, of course, is any speech that the people in power hate, but they don't define it that way. They define it as speech that hurts people.
That's kind of what
to violence, and we punish violence, don't we? Of course we do.
Eric Trump was saying.
Every year,
anytime you don't agree with
and so
the Trumps, you hate them.
Believe it. When Charlie Kirk is in the throat of the 30-06 on camera, I doubt very many young Americans want to see something like that or actually applaud the man, a father, a husband. But they've been told for their entire lives in schools exactly what Pam Bondi just told them. Well, there's free speech, but then there's also hate speech, and woe to those who engage in it because that's a lie. And it's a lie that denies the humanity of the people you're telling it about. And so any attempt to impose hate speech laws in this country, and trust me, there are a lot of people who would like them. There are a lot of people who'd like to codify their own beliefs by punishing those under the U.S. Code who disagree with their beliefs. Any attempt to do that is a denial of the humanity of American citizens and cannot be allowed under any circumstances. That's got to be the red line. Because again, when they can do that, what can't they do? And this is something, by the way, that Charlie thought about a lot and that I had occasion to talk to him about a lot. And I really don't want to make any of this about me because it has nothing to do with me. But I did have reason to have these conversations with Charlie a lot, many, many times over the past 3 or 4 months. And this began at an event that he held in Florida in July, the TPUSA MEMPHIS event, Turning Point event. I often go. I always have the best time. I always see Charlie ahead of time. We have a cup of coffee in a hotel room, talk about what's going on. In addition to being, of course, a conservative advocate, he was also a conservative organizer, a coalition builder, and he was very involved in politics in a way that I'm not, so it's interesting as hell. But it was also a way to learn what young people are thinking about, talking about, because he was on college campuses all the time, and what is the state of a couple of big debates that are happening within the Republican coalition, particularly around foreign policy. And Charlie's views on foreign policy, which I think are fairly well known now, a lot of people lying about them, were evolving, but had really evolved. People with power don't want to hear disagreement. They don't want to be challenged.
So you have to be, how you feel can never change. You don't have control of your feelings.
Tucker Carlson just exposed who ordered Charlie Kirk's hit, pointing to the hidden powers he says have been pulling the strings from the shadow.
You can never change your mind with them. It's either you with them or you not. That is why Trump run again. Anyone? Oh, absolutely. He's never wrong about anything. He's never sick. It's always the other people. He is perfect. His kids are perfect. We heard Eric last night. They make no mistakes. It's always the opponent. He said there's no comparison. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure.
People are questioning that, and a lot less people see it as true. I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These are just my opinions. In addition to that,
this is not it. It was one that they said that Charlie had a. Oh, I don't even want to give it away, but he has a limp. He walks with, so that limp that we saw him walking with, that was not the gun. They said it was not because of the gun. He had something going on that made him walk like that. Hold on. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. So that could not have been, and I just saw it not too long ago. So that could not be him. Tyler couldn't be him because what we saw him walking down with that limp thing, that was not the gun. So when he jumped off that roof, I'm trying to find it. I hate when this happens. Let's see if this was it.
That he was actually confirmed by new revelations of private discussions that Charlie Kirk was holding days before his death with a coterie of Netanyahu cutouts, Israel First fanatics, who were lobbying him constantly and attempting to push talking points on him before his tour began. I don't know if you want to intro this, Aaron, or you want me to?
It's your story. Go ahead.
Well,
my daughter gave me these boots for Father's Day.
I had produced a 3-part investigative series on this, starting with Charlie Kirk beginning to loathe Netanyahu, feeling like he was being manipulated. The term bullying was given to me by a longtime friend of Charlie Kirk. He felt like he was being bullied. He felt like he was being blackmailed to a degree. It was moral blackmail.
So why was they going along with it? See, this is what's killing me.
This saga, the second piece.
They was going along with it until it says restart my phone. Can y'all hear me? Can't open. They were going along with it until she exposed those emails. Now all of a sudden, well, yeah, he did. Well, y'all gave her the blues when she was trying to tell y'all what was going on. Y'all said she was lying. Nobody other than Tucker had her back on any of that. Now you got something. Let's hear this. I don't think this is what I was looking for, but let's
about
go.
the Secret Hamptons Influencer Summit, where we started to learn about who was lobbying Charlie Kirk, how he was constantly being held up on Zoom calls, WhatsApp groups, text exchanges with a group of 10 or so what I would call Netanyahu cutouts in the U.S., including Josh Hammer, Sean McGuire, Bill Ackman was one of them at certain intervals, and a rabbi, formerly American, now in Israel, settler rabbi named Pesach Orlicki, who runs the Israel influencer programs and propaganda tours for conservative influencers called Israel 365 Action. And they were just on his back constantly. And then in my third piece, I reported that Robert Shillman, one of the most prolific anti-Islam sugar daddies across the West, a Israel First fanatic who funds Friends of the IDF, has funded Tommy Robinson, Laura Loomer at times in her career, and was a major funder of TPUSA, who helped basically fuel Charlie Kirk's career since a young age, had bailed on him because he was going to host Tucker Carlson at a TPUSA event.
Mm-hmm.
And now, thanks to Candace Owens, former TPUSA employee, longtime friend of Charlie Kirk, we now know that Charlie Kirk was more angry about the way he was being treated by those he referred to as Jewish donors than we even understood from text messages that she revealed on her last live stream. And she really dropped the bomb right here.
She sure did. She dropped the bomb on y'all.
What's happening?
Try one more time.
She dropped the bomb on y'all.
So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And somebody writes, donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagreed with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat, okay?
So yeah, so Josh Hammer, Newsweek editor at large. His job is basically to keep the Republican Party in line with Israel, conservatives in line with Israel. He's been attacking Candace constantly. He's been saying that Charlie Kirk never had any questions about supporting Israel. They dropped this digitally reproduced letter. And it wasn't just the neocons who were pushing that letter. It was certain other influencers who, we thought were hostile to Israel, but more questionable how they've been pushing the line that these neocons and Likudniks wanted us to believe about Charlie Kirk in his final days.
Well, Netanyahu also referenced a letter, right?
Yep.
But he wouldn't release its contents because Netanyahu really.
Well, we now have the full letter, just to be sure.
Yeah, but Netanyahu really wanted to hammer home the message that Charlie Kirk and him were tight, and that Charlie Kirk was a supporter of Israel up until the end.
Yes, and I mean the letter was from May. It was before a lot of things happened, like the summit where Tucker and comic Dave Smith and were on stage. And, Epstein was called a Mossad agent, and Charlie Kirk started to get massive pushback. It was before the influencer summit at the Hamptons, where Charlie Kirk was yelled at by the British Zionist fanatic Natasha Hausdorff. And it was before all these exchanges, which I think took place 2 days before Charlie Kirk's death, that we just saw Candace Owens drop. And it's now these text messages, while most of them were anonymous, except Josh Hammer's name was revealed. Andrew Colvett, who's basically the comms man for TPUSA, has confirmed them as authentic.
This show to address some
please get the lights
things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was
they set this man up.
A screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic. And I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there.
So authentic. And that brings us to...
They are really tripping because they are really now finding out the truth. And they really want it, I gotta say it, the very opinionated black girl to be wrong. This is bottom line. They wanted her to be wrong.
Something possibly more disturbing, which was Josh Hammer's activity the day after that exchange took place, in which he was present, in which he witnessed that, and he's basically been covering up that exchange ever since Charlie Kirk's death, effectively lying.
They think he the mole.
This is bizarre to me.
He's the mole.
So this is Village Crazy Lady, Mel Whitty. I wonder if Josh Hammer went and dug up this 12-year-old Trump tweet before or after he and Rabbi Hesa Wolicki had their last conference call with Charlie the night before he was murdered. So that was right after that text exchange where Charlie Kirk says that he's done being pro-Israel and he's sick of being bullied by Jewish donors. This is 9/9/25. Josh Hammer says it's based, digging up a tweet by Donald Trump from 2013 stating, "Should be public execution for all to see. You will end this bullshit fast." What is that about? Why do you suddenly want public execution? Like, what's going on in your mind or in your life?
Cause he getting paid. He a part
So
of it.
wait, Joshua Hammer posted that the night before Charlie Kirk was killed?
Yes.
Yes.
So the implication there would be that he was like previewing. I mean, that's a stretch for me, because that would be pretty.
Well, I didn't imply that. It's just weird.
Yeah, well, of course it's weird.
That means he
These
involved.
people are freaks.
That means that
And,
he
that
will
speaks
be
to,
involved.
Josh Hammer being, a pro-Israel fanatic, so he's going to post weird things. But to tie that to Charlie together,
for the purpose of Aaron's edification and YouTube, remember, like it's like saying like the vaccine works, but no, there is no evidence that Israel participated in this assassination of Charlie Kirk. Okay, we're not saying that.
Okay, well, that's what they saying. Hold on, let me hurry up, cause I got too much to do today, baby. Where is? Let me listen to this guy. Maybe he is where I put it. I thought. That she's next. Hold on.
The Zionist lobby hates.
That clown there.
We went from saying this was anti-Semitism to watching Mike Huckabee become the leader of the BDS movement. And I did not like the fact that I found someone in my room rooting around in my stuff that should not have been there at the King David Hotel when I came back to my room when no one was expecting me to be back in my room. And I remember there's a QR code on it. And what we were supposed to do
So they
was go
going in your
talk to
room.
donors.
Hold on.
We went from saying this was anti-Semitism to watching Mike Huckabee become the leader of the BDS movement. And I did not like the fact that I found someone in my room rooting around in my stuff that should not have been there at the King David Hotel when I came back to my room when no one was expecting me to be back in my room. And I remember there's a QR code on it. And what we were supposed to do was go talk to donors. And then if they liked you, they scanned your QR code to make a donation, like on the spot.
Matt Gaetz recently revealed on Timcast how and why he drifted away from the Israel First mindset as he was in Congress, telling tales regarding the truth about AIPAC trips, how he believed he might have been bugged by Israeli officials during one of them, and an absurd scheme in which American congressmen were lined up and essentially sold off to the highest Zionist donors in Israel. So
that's sold off. When I heard them say that sold off, y'all, I ain't gonna even lie. It reminded me about when that federal agent that went undercover with that child trafficking, the minors, and they had to pay that $150,000 a year to be a part of it, and they was buying those kids, those little girls and stuff. When he said that, that was the first thing I said, ooh, that sounds just like what that guy was describing at the time.
In which American congressmen were lined up and essentially sold off to the highest Zionist donors in Israel. So let's get a look at this. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel.
As I
sold to the highest bidder.
Relatively more pro-Israel than you are now. Can you talk a little bit more about how you grew into that position as somebody who was very pro-Israel, and what the situation was like in Congress for somebody who was, and then now on the outside who is, I don't want to call you, I don't know if you'd say anti or just less supportive?
Yeah, I question the depth and the degree of the relationship now, and I have migrated on the issue. And by the way, I think a lot of young Americans have. I think Charlie Kirk's migration on the issue, my own migration on the issue, tracks where a lot of Americans are. And for me, initially, I resented the fact that there was no appreciation for nuance.
Like if you asked any questions about any decision of the Israeli government in any place regarding settlements, regarding Gaza, whatever, you were like, you had deviated from the script. And I just, in any policy area,
It's a code.
I had resentment over that. And then I saw the way the APAC worked, and that was weird for like a country lawyer like me. I remember my first APAC reception, and like your fundraiser tells you have to go, and your chief of staff tells you have to go, your committee chairman all tell you have to go. And you get there and you wear this name badge, and I remember there's a QR code on it. And what we were supposed to do was go talk to donors, and then if they liked you, they scanned your QR code to make a donation, like on the spot. And so can you just imagine how demoralizing that is to like be told that your job for the next several hours to go chat people up, hoping they would scan you like a can of tomato soup on the way out of the meeting.
Ever wondered what happens when legs like these almost suddenly become like this? Cases like this are practically textbook examples.
A lot of them are.
Just think of that on Tuesday.
A lot of them are, Darrell. Is that shocking to you? Whoever Jesse Lee Peterson is, a lot of them are.
You have to kiss the wall, and then on Wednesday you have to kiss the ass of Zionist.
Listen. Diddy, I've said this before. We did the live on it that Diddy was a part of their network, their trafficking network. How he moved was different than how they moved. And the whole concept of Epstein is blackmail. He gets them in uncompromising positions with these minors or, boys or girls, and then dangle it over their head. So I'm not surprised with none of them. They said that Trump's son-in-law was compromised by BB not gonna sue you. So I'm not surprised with any of it. None of it. It's just like the girl with Epstein. She said Ghislaine aped her too. She was worse than Epstein because she was a female and she betrayed their trust, and she was sexual as with the females as well too. So I'm not surprised with any of it. Yeah.
As donors in Israel to donate to you as if you're like chattel standing in front of them hoping for donations. This is absurd. Why do U.S. politicians continue these humiliation rituals?
Because they have done some stuff that they wasn't supposed to be doing.
He is standing at a place where many Americans are at on the Israel issue, and it becomes more and more glaring and hypocritical as it comes on the right when you're preaching an America First message when it's so clear.
When they preaching law and order. That one is worse to me. You preach law and order, and y'all have a whole ring. Y'all done changed your last names and took on a whole religion to defraud the countries. Oh no.
Person that follows these
no
things.
Law and order.
This is an Israel First administration. It's not America First. And Israel's interests contravene those of the United States. It's not just bad, but they actually act against our interests. So this is correct. It's a groundbreaking revelation to hear this about the QR code scam that they had going. But it's not surprising in some ways because this whole thing is a
QR scam.
I mean, it's like literally purchasing.
Right. And so
y'all, this is that new world order stuff. That's where they gearing to. Biblically, this is almost, the only thing that's that is saying okay, it's not the mark of the beast that's coming, because if memory serves me correctly, I probably need to go do the research since all of this stuff is happening. But the mark of the beast, that's supposed to come after the rapture in the Bible, if you know, for those who are believers in Jesus Christ. So, but a lot of stuff that they are doing, to me, especially with this dictatorship, that's what it's geared towards to me. And I don't necessarily think that the mark is going to be like 666 stamped on your forehead or something like that. I don't think it's going to go that way. But I think that the way they are trying to force these shots, manipulating the air, manipulating the food, I believe that they are setting it up so that it may be another shot that you're going to be forced to take, or you know, maybe they are going to put chips. I don't know, but I think that the way they are going, this fake Israel, you know, the genocide in Gaza, I think they have already started back with that. I think that's where we're heading to. So that's why I want us to be mindful and not just play with it, you know, because this is a big deal. This really is a big deal. And I know we can easily say, oh, they don't have nothing to do with me. Oh, but yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because anytime they are this deceptive and they're playing in our face, this is the devil played on the Christianity. Oh, Christians, we need you. All of that. That means that the devil is busy and he's disguising himself as if he's doing it for us, the people. You don't see it now, but this is for the betterment. No. And then you're going to have those that's going to go along with it just because. But see, what I'm seeing now is like these people, the base, they're saying, yeah, no, it's just too much, too quick, back to back. And you are insisting on not releasing the Epstein files. And every time they get close, he gets mad and he does something to punish the U.S. in some shape, form, or fashion. And I don't think people look at it like that, but that's because there are quite a few people who are saying, oh, that don't have nothing to do with me. So you're not going to be alert or get in front of it until it has at that time it's too late. You didn't even prepare yourself. You didn't slow the process. You walked straight into the firing squad because you wasn't paying attention. I mean, I earlier today I had to say, okay, now Lord, I need for you to keep me focused. I need for you to keep me focused on what's going on. I need for you to prepare me emotionally and mentally and spiritually. I don't want to get caught slipping. Yeah, the way they are responding to the situation after she exposed them. I mean, and she really shouldn't have had to expose them. The emails, I'm saying. But she had to. And now it's like, whoa. It wasn't whoa before. It really wasn't whoa before. So are we really gonna act like We know that there was somebody on the roof that had on all black. We listened to the 911 call. And so nobody is going to bring up the guy in the all black with the tactical helmet on his head. I mean, I've been kind of sitting back and waiting to see when was that going to be brought up again. No, they too busy coming in people's comment section telling them she's a liar, you can't believe her, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. No, she not. So they stunned. And now Qatar is coming. Oh Lord, let me hold on before I forget. Maybe it's over here. Hold on. I just watched a guy was like, whoa, I thought Trump said those people were terrorists. Yeah. He making deals with the terrorists. But guess what? I told y'all that when he was in there making deals with the people from Venezuela. Oh man, when I read. And then something happened and he turned around and started blowing up the ships. Why? Was it him? Hold on. Did I play this one?
You can bet they're going to release these text messages of Charlie saying, what I just did, I'm afraid to die.
There is distinct proof that Charlie was under duress and believed that his life was in danger, directly related to whatever altercations he was undergoing with Zionist and Israeli-linked donors, of which he was having a fallout in the tunes of millions of dollars, and realized that he needed to change directions, and he was no longer going to let the Israeli lobby control him or Turning Point, which is huge because that was going to change the entire conversation. I have seen a lot of messages and had conversations with a lot of people. There's other ones out there that will come out besides these group chats.
You can bet they're going to release these texts.
Oh, she said, which bullet did he? No, that's not it. Is this the one? I don't know.
Are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier.
Yeah, no, that's not it. He sure was not. Oh, and now the lady is going to give. Oh, wow. I don't know if y'all ready for that. I mean, I done told y'all I don't know how many times where these people came from and who, hold on. Are y'all at? Hold on. Can y'all read that? Ain't that the star? The Rothschilds created Israel. Israel, well, that's who created it. I may have said it out of turn, but hold on. We've been hearing about the Zionists. The Rothschilds created that. all the businesses that's tied to, look. So y'all remember they had that all, ooh, which one of it? Was it the bushes that was wrapped up in all that oil and stuff? Yeah, shell. Yeah. Freemason. Said that they the cancer of the earth. But hold on, because this was not what I was looking for. But hold on. We gotta do our research. Gotta do it. Mormons refer to the Rothschilds as the king of the world. Rockefeller, Rothschilds. Okay, hold on. That's not it. Cause then they talking about his parents. Who were they? For real? Let's hear this guy.
Prize, and the prize is the Epstein. Listen, I want you to do your very best to keep your eyes on the prize, and the prize is the Epstein-Trump connection. I want to tell you multiple things here.
No,
first of all,
that's not him.
What the Russians...
No, I'm not ready to talk about that one yet. I'm not ready to talk about that one. It's so much. When I tell y'all, it's so much. It's so much going on.
There's going to be another pandemic. That's 10 times worse.
What you say?
I think that was a
What you say?
There's going to be another pandemic. That's 10 times worse. I think that was a precursor to what's coming next. Because here's the thing. Back in 2019, they had something called Event 201, funded by none other than Bill Gaetz. Surprise, surprise. So just 3-6 months before COVID happens, we have a simulation of a respiratory virus that they simulated, and then it happens the next year. Interesting. And he's a big advocate for vaccines.
Yeah, I know.
So, and that, not only that, but he's in our food system. He's the biggest land farm owner in America. Why do you think that is? He's a computer guy. What do you know about vaccines and farming and all this other shit?
He knows numbers and digits and, percentages.
Yeah, he literally said he wants...
What is he trying to do?
Well, he literally said he wants to depopulate. He said this on camera. Hey, in order to have sustainable, future, we gotta depopulate and get rid of some people. Like, bro, what? Depopulate? So, okay, so it makes sense. You're in our food system and water and this and that and vaccines. I see your plan. He's just walking around. This is crazy. So, again, I think they're setting up for another pandemic. That's what I think. That was a precursor. And, I've been told by, again, sidekicks and remote viewers, they're saying, hey, what I see in the near future, it's going to be 10 times worse.
10 times worse. I believe it. I believe that's what they're gearing for. Okay, so for some reason, what I'm looking for, I thought it was there. It's not. Is it here? Because it was talking about that shadow, but it wasn't the shadow. It was saying that it could not have been Charlie because he has a problem with his leg. I find it. I'm gonna get back to where I was. Yeah, cause y'all still not hitting the like button, and let's say this one.
Into Israel. No, they make up stuff about you. If you're on the Foreign Affairs Committee, if you're on the Armed Services Committee, if you're on the Intelligence Committee, there's like an expectation that you go there in some sort of congressional Hajj.
Former Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz detailed a fascinating experience he had on an AIPAC-sponsored trip to Israel when he was still in elected office. And what he shared uncovered yet another example of Israeli occupation of the United States government. Take a look.
I was at the King David Hotel, and I rolled back to my room unexpectedly when the rest of the group was still on some planned activity. And there was some dude in my room. I'm like, hey man, what are you doing here? And he acted like he was associated with the hotel and taking an inventory, but had no clipboard. And so, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why they want members of Congress over there, and it is ideologically to steep them in this notion that the protection of Israel is of great import to.
Have you ever wanted to see your home from space with this free satellite Earth?
No, I don't. Y'all double tap the screen of your phone.
And that is becoming more.
I don't think that's it. And I need to hurry up. Hold on. Let me get here.
Your boy Stephen A. Smith, one-on-one with Candace Owens. Do I really need to say anything else? Stephen A. Smith showing up. You know what time it is.
Double tap the screen of your phone, sir.
Self-edified and intrigued.
Please double tap the screen of your phone. I need to get the likes up. I'm running around trying to find this stuff for you, and you guys can't even hit the like button. That's disrespectful to me. Double tap the screen of your phone. Or hit the thumbs up. Hit the 3 dots at the top. And I try not to stop. Y'all just sit there and act like y'all don't know how to hit the... I mean, I don't get it. It's just like, just double tap the screen of your phone. Hit the 3 dots at the top right. I mean, I appreciate the support I've received. That's the only reason I haven't left. But the 100 and some people that's in here that haven't hit the like button, I hate to say it, but I mean, I am really trying to find it. Yeah, go ahead. Bye.
All at the same time, because you want to listen and you want to learn more. And it certainly encourages you to hear from the other side. And that's what today's show is about. You know, my guest today is a woman by the name of Candace Owens. Married with 4 children, very, very popular, conservative pundit, has been for years. She's been incredibly controversial along the way in the eyes of a lot of people. She has spoken out against the Me Too movement. She has spoken out against Black Lives Matter. She has spoken out against some people within the conservative community. She definitely has made her voice heard about what she believes as it pertains to the Democratic Party. The list goes on and on. You've heard of Blexit, which she created years ago. You've heard of other things that she has done. She's a best-selling author as well. And she has a very popular podcast that's now eclipsed more than 4 million subscribers. But she's not a fan favorite in the eyes of a lot of people. And in this particular day and age, certainly not anybody from the Jewish community. In light of her comments about Israel, specifically the leadership of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, she has spoken out fervently and feverishly on many, many occasions. And with this sit-down interview, without much prompting, she certainly didn't hesitate to do so this particular moment in time. And as I think about that, I think about all the things that I want to discuss with her. I think about the controversial issues and challenges that she has faced. I think about her views about Christianity, her views about politics, her thoughts on immigration, and how these views has led to her life being threatened. All of these are things that I was looking forward to talking to Candace Owens about. It's not the first time I've spoken to her. I sincerely doubt if it will be the last. Candace Owens with Stephen A. Smith up next. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. All right, folks, I need you all to stop what you're doing and listen up right now. You know I love this time of year. The NBA Finals are in full effect. And with all this action jumping off, Stephen A. Smith Show wants to make sure you take advantage of it all. That's why he has shown up for the being hampered. He's not going to be the rehash. That's more for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, more for Jalen Williams, more for Pascal. Sharp with her candid opinions, as far as I'm concerned, highly intelligent positions. She hosts the popular YouTube show, Candace. Please welcome back to the show the one and only Candace Owens. How are you, Candace? How's everything?
Everything is good, new baby, so I'm barely sleeping, but it's of course a blessing.
Well, first of all, you don't look it, so compliment to you. That's number one. Number two, you're just getting back into action. Before I get into some of these questions, because I couldn't wait to talk to you about this stuff. How long have you been out? How much of a break did you take?
I took 6 weeks and made a couple of appearances because some stories were just so big that I felt like I needed to respond to them. But other than that, I've just kind of been in baby world.
I got you. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule because I definitely wanted to talk to you about a couple of things and, of course, yourself. But let's get right into it. I want to have you back on to get your perspective on some trending news headlines. You called the escalation between Israel and Iran a propaganda war. We all know what's been going on between Israel and Iran. We've heard President Trump speak about it. You've been on the record calling it a propaganda war. Explain that, Candace.
Well, it was very obvious that this war was going to happen because the American foreign policy is dictated by Israel. And it was problematic that Bibi Netanyahu was increasing his rhetoric against Iran. And this is after they have effectively seized land in Syria. They were cheering what happened in Syria. We knew that it was going to wind up with Christians being mass murdered, which is what's happening right now. And what's happening in the Middle East, for those who aren't clear on this, is Israel is simply is expanding its borders, whether that be by carpet bombing women and children, which we have not had a person with power effectively state that this is morally wrong, of course. And now it seems they also want to annex the West Bank. What's happening in the West Bank, which has nothing to do with Gaza, is the individuals that live there are being traumatized by the IDF. And so if you're paying attention, it's very clear that they have become increasingly radical, and they are effectively, as they always do, using the American military to...
It's interesting that she has called them radical, right? When they tend to call everyone else a radical. Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Fulfill their foreign policy interests because they are a small nation. They don't have the bodies to be able to accomplish that. They need the might of the American military to accomplish their foreign Middle Eastern objectives. And so, yeah, it was very, I am on record saying this for the last 2 years. We're going to war with Iran one way or the other because what Bibi Netanyahu wants, what Bibi Netanyahu gets.
How is that?
Israel first.
Because listen, I'm watching the Daily Show the other day, and I'm watching Jon Stewart, who obviously is a supporter. He's Jewish, and he's a supporter of the Jewish community in Israel, of course. But he spoke out about how Netanyahu was saying the same thing recently that he said in 2018, that he said in 2015, that he said in 2011. And what's surprising to me is that there seems to be a community divided within the own Jewish community. You have some people who are about being isolationists, which is something we'll get into later, and don't necessarily support this. And then you got guys like conservative pundit Mark Levin, who I know that you know a thing or two about. You know I know him. I've known him for years. And he is fixated on this. He believes that America should be involved. He believes that Iran is evil and that they need to be wiped off the face of this earth. And essentially, the threats that they've made, not just to Israel, but death to America as well, justifies the kind of things that we have been seeing. Do you have, do you take that into consideration when you're giving your thoughts?
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that the public needs to recognize is this intentional conflation, and it's completely wrong, of Israel, the foreign nation, which is being led up by Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, and Jewish people. That would be an absolute nonsense if I sat here and I said, well, whatever happens in Nigeria, it means that if you critique the Nigerian government, that you're somehow against black people in America. We would also, that's nonsense, but they have been very successful in this idea that if you critique what is happening in the Middle East and what actions are being led by Bibi Netanyahu's government, radical government, then you're somehow anti-Semitic. So it shouldn't surprise you to see that many Jewish people have taken to the streets. Not only Jewish people, by the way, Israelis, because as we know, even in America, you can be an American and not support what the government is doing. I am not supporting right now the decisions that are being made by the Trump campaign as it pertains to Middle Eastern policy. But they have a disagreement. You have Israelis taking to the streets, boycotting, protesting Bibi Netanyahu. And similarly, you have Jewish people who recognize that there has been this wrong conflation, as if all Jewish people agree with the nonstop campaign of bombing in the Middle East, which has essentially been in effect since 1948, since the creation of Israel as a nation.
Did y'all hear that?
So I'm not conflicted or confused about what's happening.
Did y'all hear that?
To be as disingenuous as.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that with y'all good ear? Did y'all hear that with y'all good ear? Now, this is the first time I've heard her say this, but again, I just started listening to Candace, and I've never, since I've been listening to her, I've never heard her say it. I've gotten that information elsewhere. But did y'all hear that? I need to know if y'all paying attention, or if y'all just here to support AunTeaFee, because that is very important to me, because we will continue to have Christians believe that this is spiritual, and that this is about the Bible. And yesterday I think we heard where they were saying, "Oh, just stick to the script. Don't say nothing. Don't question this. Don't da 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 da." I mean, how can it be spiritual or biblical if it was built in 1948 by the Rothschilds? And she didn't say that part, but that it was created. She said it was created in 1948.
Government, that you're somehow against black people in America. We would also, that's nonsense, but they have been very successful in this idea that if you critique what is happening in the Middle East and what actions are being led by Bibi Netanyahu's government, radical government, then you're somehow anti-Semitic. So it shouldn't surprise you to see that many Jewish people have taken to the streets. Not only Jewish people, by the way, Israelis, because as we know, even in America, you can be an American and not support what the government is doing. I am not supporting right now the decisions that are being made by the Trump campaign as it pertains to Middle Eastern policy. But they have a disagreement. You have Israelis taking to the streets, boycotting, protesting Bibi Netanyahu. And similarly, you have Jewish people who recognize that there has been this wrong conflation, as if all Jewish people agree with the nonstop campaign of bombing in the Middle East, which has essentially been in effect since 1948, since the creation of Israel as a nation. And so I'm not conflicted or confused about what's happening. I find it to be as disingenuous as attaching, well, if you critique Black Lives Matter as an organization, this means that you're critiquing all black people. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that whatsoever. I'm critiquing the Israeli Prime Minister. I am critiquing their actions, really their actions which have began since 1948. The more that I become educated about the topic, it has always been this despicable. It has always been a campaign of carpet bombing and theft, stealing lands. And when people notice what they're doing, they say, well, you can't say that because of anti-Semitism. That's ridiculous, okay? You know how I feel about this, especially as someone who's been called an Uncle Tom and a coon for critiquing things that were happening within the black community. I am not going to respond to name calling. I'm going to respond to the facts. And the facts are what Bibi Netanyahu is doing in the Middle East is a terrorist campaign.
I saw a recent episode, I forgot who you were talking to, forgive me for not knowing his name, but you were showing highlights of Dave Portnoy, for Barstool, and how he was going at one of the individuals that I think he employs, and he went ballistic because of a joke that was being aimed in his direction or what have you. And I don't remember the joke, so I apologize for that. But you highlighting his reaction because you were.
Oh, I'm sorry.
pointing out how he could joke about some things, but if you joke about anything at this particular moment in time, it's going to be labeled anti-Semitic. Is that something that you feel fervently about, that you feel adamant about, in terms of you just can't say anything is such a lopsided thing? Because when I think about the Jewish community, of course, I'm looking at some of the things that are transpiring. I don't like it one bit. In the same breath, I'm thinking about October 7th from a couple of years ago when they were attacked and people were kidnapped, people were killed, etc., and the retaliation on their part was predictable and in the eyes of a lot of people, understandable. That's where I come from with it. Where are you coming from with it when I use a Portnoy example or others as you allude to anti-Semitism, which is obviously a grave concern for the Jewish community at this particular moment in time?
First and foremost, I can think of nothing more anti-Semitic than 2 years of bombing the Palestinians, who are a Semitic people. That's another thing. They've just decided they're the only Semitic people, which is absolutely absurd and it's erroneous. But further to your point, there was this media effort, and we've all seen over the last 2 years, there's been this increasing slur of anti-Semitism everywhere. Like, people who have been in the public space forever and have never been accused of being anti-Semites are now being accused of being anti-Semites, me being one of them. I worked for 2 Jewish organizations before I was suddenly being accused of being anti-Semitic. So sometimes on its face, you have to ask yourself a question. And again, I will use the example of BLM, where suddenly it seemed like everyone was being accused of racism to the point that it was becoming a parody. Like, someone would braid their hair and they'd be like, cancel this girl because this is appropriation. When you start to see that increase, and what people are actually trying to do is control speech, right? This guy said, I think it's okay if someone jokes at you and calls you Rabbi Dave Portnoy, you should be able to take a joke, right? Welcome to the internet. Everyone's called different things. And he has a meltdown and asks him, Dave Portnoy says, how many Jews have to die before you stop joking? That's an emotional manipulation tactic, okay? Nobody dies from a joke, okay? Nobody dies if somebody tweets at Dave Portnoy, hey, you're Rabbi Dave Portnoy now, as they're critiquing you. And you only do that, you only start to come in on speech and to demand all these rules and these cancellations when you have something to hide, when you are wrong, okay? Because when you're winning on the basis of your ideas, when you're winning on the basis of the argument, you don't ask for more censorship. I want the debate. When I know I'm right about something, I'm not going censor the wrong guy. I'm like, platform the wrong guy, get me across from him so I can embarrass him. So we knew this was coming on the basis of this increase of smearing people as anti-Semites for asking rational questions. And so I'm not surprised that we arrived at this point.
Well, where I would push back on that, Candace, is that's you. You're highly intellectual, very, very articulate, very researched, exceptional at defending your points, etc. It give you the, I don't want to say the motivation, but the ability to be calm and collective in articulating a point of view to refute something somebody else is throwing at you. But if you're a Dave Portnoy, just to use this example, and you're a Jewish individual who emphatically believes that there's anti-Semitism raving through this country, if not this world, at this particular moment in time, you can't understand why he would react. And I'm not saying he should have gone as far as he did, but can you understand where he's coming from when he's passionate about it? Because to me, it's coupled with a fear that the Jewish community is feeling at this particular moment in time because of what they're doing, and to use your words, because of the action of their own government in Israel.
I can't understand it, not even %, okay? And nothing is more obnoxious than having somebody as successful, a multimillionaire, who probably doesn't even touch his own door handles, pretending that he's just so terrified and he can't go outside. That's a nonsense, okay? He is trying to hype up his victimhood because he does not have an argument to make. And that's what people do. They lean into victimhood when they cannot rebut an argument. It would have been very easy for him to calmly explain, this is the reason why this is wrong, and so died because of this joke. Someone fell over and died because someone tweeted Rabbi Dave Portnoy. But that's nonsense. So he went with screaming, and then in this weird slave owner vibe tells him, I own you, and I pay you and I own you, which is just, quite frankly, despicable.
Got you. You know what? I gotta keep in mind, Candace, when I'm talking to you, I'm gonna make sure I don't raise my voice or anything like that. I mean, you got me wondering if I did the wrong things by raising my voice, talking sports, for crying out loud. Because that's a good. I'm like, let me look at myself. Let me check myself just a little bit more in the future, because Candace is bringing up some very valid points. I got it. Let me move on to Tucker Carlson while I have you here, and I want to get into you a little bit later because I want to talk about some things involving you directly. But right now, I wanted to touch on Tucker Carlson, the former Fox News host, got into into a fiery exchange on Tuesday, with Senator Ted Cruz over his support for President Trump and his posturing towards Israel. At least that's what Tucker Carlson claims it to be. I want to show you this clip right now with Tucker Carlson getting into it with Ted Cruz. Take a look at this, Candace.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
He don't know. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know the population at all.
No, I don't know the population. You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
What percent?
predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know
claims
anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
They're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe
we're
that...
carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night
breaking
denied,
news.
the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
Right.
We are supporting
This is
Israel.
high stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at
No,
war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Candace,
Caught
you
him.
saw that. What do you make about that face?
Caught him.
Your thoughts.
So first thing I want to say is I greatly respect both of these men. I very much like Ted Cruz as a person. I have had nothing but positive relations with him and I've come across him. But in this clip, it really embodies everything that I think the American people are so frustrated with, right? You have a person who is keen to go to war with Iran, and he is suggesting that it is, I guess, a form of trickery to ask him what is the population of Iran. If you're going to make a vote that we should go to war with this nation on behalf of Israel, and it is a fact that Ted Cruz accepts a lot of money from AIPAC, so they lobby, and the Israel PAC lobbies. He's one of the senators that takes a lot of money from AIPAC every year. You would imagine that you've made some estimation in your mind that there is a imminent perceivable threat to the American people if you are in fact America first and concerned about Americans,
right.
And B, that if we go to war with them, we can win. And so in going through that line of questioning in your head, can we win this? Like, is there a threat to the American people? You, of course, are going to assess the population size. Like, we're a nation of 300 million people. How big is our military? They're a nation of how many people? How big is their military? And he hasn't done that. He's admitting, like, hey, I actually don't even know the population size of Iran. I do expect you to know the population size of Iran. That'd be a pretty basic thing if you're going to vote yes to going to war. And the reality is he can't answer that question because, like many people in Congress, left and right, they vote according to how they are lobbied. So if it's Big Pharma, they're voting for everyone to have to take the COVID vaccine because I took X amount of dollars from Big Pharma, right? Or I took X amount of dollars from this pharmaceutical company. If it's big war and you're dealing with the nonstop war, there's always been a threat in the Middle East, right? And we've lost all of those wars, right? The Taliban has our weaponry. There were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Generation 9/11 has grown up. We are demanding that all of you be able to answer some basic questions and to explain why a threat, which Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence 8 weeks ago, sat down in a congressional hearing and testified that there was no nuclear threat 8 weeks ago. Now suddenly 8 weeks later there is one, right when Israel decides that they want to bomb Iran. It's a nonsense, and I am tired of being gaslit by our politicians to pretend that we don't understand and can't perceive the threats. The threat, actually, frankly, is Israel, because we go to war and it only benefits them.
Adobe Acrobat Studio is new. What can PDF spaces with AI do? Do a sales invoice good enough to eat? Adobe Express brings the heat.
You know, you sound very, very disgusted. I'm wondering where the word fear comes into play. I believe I read or doing my research, I was told that you feel you needed security. Obviously, some of the things that you say are incredibly polarizing, particularly in this day and age right now. Whether it should be or not is for somebody else to conclude. I'm just telling you what they're saying. When you take that into consideration right now, as you look at your life, you just had you just was on maternity leave, you got 4 kids, you're happily married, etc. How comfortable is life for Candace Owens right now, or lack thereof, dare I say?
Well, I want to be honest. I have tremendous fear of God. And that's why you have to tell the truth, right? If you declare Christ's kingship and you truly are a Christian, then your number one fear is of God, because this is not it. This is,
It's
we get
between
80
you and
years
God.
in this life, and then we're in the next. And so when you see these people who pretend to be Christians and they look at what Israel is doing, they look at the nonstop campaign of starvation. You can look at the videos of them bombing.
Right there. Pretend. Pretend. That takes me back to the beginning, T-Sippers. It takes me back to the beginning when it first happened. And it was something about it. It was the pretending of the Christians. It was as if the left and the right superseded your Christian faith. I can hate, I can this, the immigrants to die, because it's in the Bible. No, yeah, whoa, yo, no. That's why you have a problem with empathy, because you want to justify. And that, to me, is when I said that is they are wolves in sheep clothing, because it was fake, make believe, pretend.
I want to be honest. I have tremendous fear of God. And that's why you have to tell the truth, right? If you declare Christ's kingship and you truly are a Christian, then your number one fear is of God, because this is not it. We get 80 years in this life, and then we're in the next. And so when you see these people who pretend to be Christians and they look at what Israel is doing, they look at the nonstop campaign of starvation. You can look at the videos of them bombing children, the children crying, shooting children as they try to run for food, and you pretend to declare Christ's kingship, and yet what you're actually fearful of is saying that that's wrong because you don't want to be canceled, because you don't want to lose your job, because you don't want people to call you an anti-Semite. I question your sincerity is what I would say. I don't sit in the seat of judgment, but what I say to people is you are going to one day meet your maker. So you better start doing the right thing, which is to tell the truth unapologetically. And I want, in terms of my family, I want my children to inherit that from me. To be passionate for the truth, which is to be passionate for Christ, right?
Absolutely.
That is what Christ is. Christ is the truth. You have to follow Christ at all times, and I've made my position very clear on this.
Who are you saying is pretending to be Christian, just for clarification? Because you alluded to.
Well, the argument that has been made by people, and Tucker Carlson just released further parts of this interview with Ted Cruz, and he says, why should we follow Israel? And he says, well, the Bible says that if I, bless Israel, then I will be blessed. That is what Ted Cruz says to Tucker Carlson about why we should be following them into this war. And Tucker Carlson, who's a Christian, pushes back on that. He's like, well, let's get into the theology of this. You think that you are going to be blessed, and I'm filling in the blanks here, but essentially what Ted Cruz is offering is that you will be blessed if you allow this nation, which was created in 1948, that Genesis is referring to, this modern nation of Israel, all right, to essentially
Oh
what
my
Ted Cruz is
God,
offering
y'all,
is
it's
that
right here. It's all right here. Y'all double tap your screen. I mean, I had no idea it was here. Uh, yeah. I mean, would I be trying to make sure we get to not separate, to separate what's biblical and what's made up. She's saying it right here. I need for y'all to double tap the face of your phone. Get the likes up. Hit the 3 dots at the top right corner on your phone. I am still trying to find where I saw that. Come on, y'all. I need 25 likes. Real quick. Because I'm coming up on 2 hours.
Be blessed if you allow this nation, which was created in 1948, that Genesis is referring to, this modern nation of Israel, all right, to bomb, starve, kill, take land whenever they want, blackmail our politicians, Jeffrey Epstein, a lot of questions about who shot JFK and why we couldn't get those files. You're going to be blessed if you keep supporting this. And that is the reality, is that there was this incursion after the Schofield Bible, and this is what I really challenge people who believe this heresy, to look into the history of the Schofield Bible, look into who about why we should be following them into this war. And Tucker Carlson, who's a Christian, pushes back on that. He's like, well, let's get into the theology of this. You think that you are going to be blessed, and I'm filling in the blanks here, but essentially what Ted Cruz is offering is that you will be blessed if you allow this nation, which was created in 1948, that Genesis is referring to, this modern nation of Israel, all right?
I can't get, and I made Result Hunter.
I can't get past that. It was created.
Let me just tell you what it does.
You think
First
the
of all,
Bible
big tech
to bomb, starve, kill,
you lining it up.
Essentially what Ted Cruz is.
You are lining it up. You are justifying it. See, now you're playing in our face. Now you are playing in the Christian's face. So you're telling me that you want us to believe that Bibi and this stuff, Trump, all of this mayhem, Garza, you telling me that this right here is biblical and it was created in 1948. So this is not about two brothers and no. How could it be? I'm constantly showing y'all where he's not real. Yeah, it's here. Oh, that was, thank you for Max. I didn't see y'all. I didn't see how everybody coming in. Owens is going hard. Schofield Bible is back. I'm just saying, I mean, you know, they can say what they want to say about it, but they're saying what they're saying about it because she is bringing forth the truth. Now, I'm not saying she perfect. I'm not saying all her views is right. But what I'm saying is right now with this situation with Charlie, Kirk, Trump, and BB Netanyahu, I can say it. I just don't like to. So I'm going to call him not going to sue you. It's fake. They are stealing. They are in business together. And with that business, with the stealing of the land, stealing of the money, leaving us bankrupt as a country, as a nation, they have a child human trafficking situation going on. And they have had it for the longest. So let me ask y'all something. I mean, really, for the ones who are here, we know that there are a lot of people that are in the Epstein file, and there is a list. Okay? And we know that it's a lot of wealthy people, not just men, women too. The whole Clinton family, Ghislaine Maxwell, Chelsea too. Blew my mind. That Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea. Her too. Who do y'all? So Democrats, Republicans, male, females. Who do y'all think Trump is really protecting? Come on. And we know, he know that we know he in there. So not him. So let's just remove Trump. We already know he in there. But who did he forget was in there when he played the game of dangle the Epstein file folder? Come on, y'all. Who did he forget was in there? Besides Trump, we already know he in there. We already know the Clintons are in there. We already know Elon is in there, and that Barron got. So let's just move the people that we know is in there. BB not gonna sue you. And the Israel is who he is protecting. The foreign countries that they've been in business with is in there. I mean, Elon has to know that he ain't in there heavy. Putin, Russia, wanted us to know that, what's her name? What's his wife's name? I keep thinking Ivana. Not her. What's her name? Melania. He wanted us to know if she was a hoe. Yeah, is she up in there too? Yeah, I mean, because that's when it started coming all out that Epstein had her first and Trump met her through Epstein, screwed her on the plane. He got naked pictures of her and shit. We have to know that these foreign presidents and prime ministers and shit, they all up in there. He got deals with these people. Yeah, his daughter may be in there. Yeah, his son-in-law. Yeah, he from over there. He been compromised. All of that has come out. Who Trump is protecting is who he's afraid of. Cause he ain't afraid of us. He in his mind he has immunity, right? So when he was dangling because he knows that he has immunity. Yeah. He protecting Bibi Netanyahu. And she know if they keep playing with her, because she know that he ordered that hit on Charlie. And Trump sacrificed him. Because his voice was strong enough to flip it all upside down. So now it's the Epstein files and it's the intentional blaming the wrong person for Charlie Kirk. why? Why is she and Tucker the only one going hard, and she's the one that's going hard? Why? Because she was actively a part of it. She knows. That's why they threatening her and Tucker. But she was in there. All the world leaders are working together. It's all a show. One world government is on the way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I get that. Mm-hmm. But in her mind, they should have left him alone. And the people, before you get to the one world order, I mean, the one world order. The people need to know. I mean, because even with that, we ain't know nothing about the government. Have they are the traffickers. So they are the experimenters with medicine. Used to be, they said it was orphanage kids, mentally disabled. Then it went to us. So, and now they experiment on everybody. They experiment on everybody. But what we did not know. Now, we knew that they dropped the guns. Because, see, people forgetting who made these gun laws, who made it easy, who set it up for the crime to be the way it is. Nobody's reminding Trump that, dude, it was you who said the right to bear arms, and you don't have to be tested, and, you don't have anybody, and everybody can bear arms. And then other people, black people, started walking up and down the street with these. Then they was like, oh no, he has a gun, shoot or kill, take him out. No, but I thought it was the right to bear arms. So why did you make these laws? I mean, you said crime was bad. Well, change the laws. Mr. Lawman, executive order. Change the laws. Oh no, I can't do that. Okay. So the drugs, crack, who planted the drugs? I mean, we've heard these stories before. I mean, I don't know if I don't have time. My likes ain't up for me to be going hard with y'all today. My likes are not up. It's time for me to go. But who planted the drugs in the hoods? I mean, people done said it for years. Who put guns out in the hood, boxes and even as not to they played that stunt on January 6th. They put bricks and stuff in the hood, guns. Y'all don't remember that? So now you mean to tell me that this big old epidemic that we got going on with human trafficking? I told y'all a long time ago when it came to with the ADOLPH and the Mo3. I've been saying this shit for 5 years, that it's all full circle, and that the higher ups, I was saying there's one in Houston, there's one on the East Coast, but there's one that's bigger than him. And I mentioned it maybe once or twice, that don't be surprised at the top of it. It don't be Trump. He always go to the rappers when he want to get voted. As far as he concerned, the only black people he really accept are the rappers. He pardoned them and apists, pedos. Yeah, so now you mean to tell me I've been saying, human trafficking, it's in there, that it's the government? Oh, man. Oh, God. Dang. I didn't see that one coming. I knew trafficking was involved. But I did not know that they have a whole network, rich boy country club, golf resorts with whole kids up in there. They trafficking kids, foreign country deals. They meet up in all of these business trips. And they going in making bids on kids. So yeah, he not just trying to protect him because he thought, oh, I'm going to get immunity. We'll figure out a way. Yeah. But I forgot about these. Oh, my. Oh, he mentioned Bibi. He mentioned Israel. Oh, Lord. And he's still getting paid? I thought he was dead. Now we're hearing they never even checked for fingerprints. They never even handled the crime scene the way they were supposed to. So they don't know who was in there. Yeah. The biggest cover-up is the Trump gate. You understand? This is about protecting. We heard one guy said, this ain't about Trump. This is every time they won't release it, they stalling. They won't even swear in the people. We on shutdown. Government shutdown. We on punishment because we won't let the Epstein files go. Okay, then let your little girl go spend a weekend at the White House. Then go let your go on. I mean, everybody else can see. The military can see it. The military don't even want to fool with Trump. They don't even want to take the orders. They are leaving their position in the military. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid, Pennywise. The generals are saying, I'm not doing that. You are an enemy of the United States. You are a traitor. It is Israel first. Your job is to put the United States first. And if you think that he's doing that, then shame on you. You're not from the U.S. And that's a period after that. You are from one of those foreign countries. Yeah, where is that? Because oh man, where's that guy who, they are deleting the ones I push over to myself. I'm going to have to go get a whole nother computer. I see that now. Because it was the guy who talked about, oh yeah, I had some good stuff that I sent to myself. And I can't find it now.
Offering is that you will be blessed if you allow this nation, which was created in 1948, that Genesis is referring to, this modern nation of Israel, all right, to bomb, starve, kill, take land whenever they want, blackmail our politicians, Jeffrey Epstein.
How can you say somebody has done nothing wrong and he's a convicted felon 34 times over? If that was any other person that lived on your street that was a convicted felon walking freely who should be on the chat, what is it called? The offenders list. Yeah. You'll be saying, oh no, get him, no, he can't stay here. Where's the homeowners association? He's a convicted felon. He has 34 sex offender charges. I have kids. Oh, but no, we're gonna look over that because it's Trump. He's an honest guy? Is that what you're telling me? Pennywise. Really? So you're okay for someone that has 34 sex charges to be in the White House, but anybody and everybody else you know that is a offender can't get an apartment, can't get a job, gotta register. Every time he move, can't stay by a school. He shouldn't have got even considered to be no Nobel Peace Prize winner with 34 felonies. Come on. Look how y'all overlook things. You almost made me call you the P word. I mean, it's a whole bunch of them. But yeah, but if you justify that, but you wouldn't justify another race having that same record, what does that call you? What does that make you? What does that make you, Pennywise? If Obama had 34 sex offenses that he was found guilty of and a convicted felon, 34. Would you be okay with that? Would you say, oh, I don't think he's done anything wrong. He shouldn't have to register as a sex offender. Yeah, he can live by a school. Oh, Obama's a good guy. Yeah. Who do you think? Baby, the blinders are off. Ain't nobody falling for them bananas in the tailpipe no more. Y'all, I need 10 likes. Yeah, you may want to shh. Yeah.
About why we should be following them into this war. And Tucker Carlson
playing in people's face.
On that. He's like, well, let's get into the theology of this. You think that...
Yeah, they mad at him for being smart. Yeah. If they could have found anything wrong with him. Woo! You sure he not on the list? Trump, no, he ain't on the list. God damn. No, he's not. That's why I don't like him, because he's a clean. Show the Epstein files. Yeah. Miss me with that. He's good.
And I'm filling in the blanks here, but essentially what Ted Cruz is offering is that you will be blessed if you allow this nation, which was created in 1948, that Genesis is referring to, this modern nation of Israel, all right, to bomb, starve, kill, take land whenever they want, blackmail our politicians, Jeffrey Epstein, a lot of questions about who shot JFK and why we couldn't get those files. You're going to be blessed if you keep supporting this. And that is the reality, is that there was this incursion after the Schofield Bible. And this is what I really challenge people who believe this heresy, to look into the history of the Schofield Bible, look into who funded that Bible to teach Christians how to view the nation of Israel. The Bible is not referring to the modern state of Israel and Bibi Netanyahu. God is not calling upon you to support the slaughter of women and children perpetually, and is going to award you with heaven because kids are crying and starving and dying in the Middle East. I mean, you do have to have, if you don't have religious fervor or religious understanding.
So if they want to kill, just, so there's no, No need to be fruitful and multiply. So if they're going to want to take out all the men, all the women, they just want men here? Huh? They just want men here on earth? And and now that we know that they are injecting in these vaccines, oh Lord, to alter, never mind. You know, we have to look at same-sex relationships differently now that we know that they are injecting the part of their cocktail is injecting the female hormones in men, is what they're saying, allegedly. So it's just a whole big I don't want to, it's just been a whole big sabotage on the U.S., y'all. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying now. Now they're coming out. They're admitting that cocktail was designed to depopulate Yeah, it did a lot of damage. That's why they could never tell you what was in it. This is why they also want us to stay away from holistic medicines, natural herbal medicines. Yeah, that was a hard one for me to grab. Up until COVID, though. I'm going to just be honest. That CO-19 was an eye-opener for me. Because if it forced the pharmaceutical cartel, it forced the pharmaceutical cartel to tell us what God has naturally for us to use to build our immune system to survive the mayhem. Do y'all understand that? When somebody let go or spread it, the COVID-19 before they had a concoction, so that means somebody jumped the gun, Trump. Okay? And it spread it before they had the concoction. Because if y'all think back, 2019, when the Carnival ship couldn't dock because the whole cruise got this bacteria thing going on. Y'all remember that? Carnival was the first, like, wait, what? The whole ship is, what? It can't dock. It's been an outbreak. What? Yeah. So they didn't have a cocktail. So then they had Pfizer and all these places trying to come up with a cocktail. So the doctors were saying, okay, so you have to build your immune system. You need to get you some sea moss. You need some what? Some sea moss. You need to get you some moringa. You need to get some elderberry. You need to make sure you have some zinc. Then they started telling us, yeah, he blamed Fauci, okay? But then they had to tell us what herbal God-gift herbs to save us, to build our immune system, right? Y'all with me? We agree to that? As soon as they got a cocktail and the pharmaceutical cartel was able to build and make money off of this cocktail, stop taking the natural herbs that has kept you alive until they got this cocktail. Then I'm looking at y'all with the big eyes because I want us to think like we got some sense. So you mean to tell me y'all was forced to tell us what could keep us alive? So get in tune with your natural herbs, elderberry, sea moss, moringa, turmeric, or whatever, however you say it. The one with the black pepper. Okay, and this will. Oh, okay. Hey, Vicky. Yeah. And that was probably some of the healthiest we had been. You understand? What? Some of the mucus, it get the inflammation and all of this type of stuff. Wait, what? Yeah. And now they have a cocktail. Everybody got to get this shot. If you work a certain, mandated. Lose your job if you don't get it. But what about all the natural stuff that worked? Why do we, if all of this natural stuff worked, why do we need this cocktail? What's in the cocktail? We don't know. Y'all don't know. Well, why don't I just keep taking the natural stuff? It stopped a lot of people. Huh? Here we go. Now y'all from the forces. Now you want to keep your job? Here I go. Hey, Big Pink. Is this the mark of the beast? I mean, y'all trying what? That's me. I ain't gonna even lie. Well, if you want to come back to if you want to come back to the office, you're going to have to get it. You're going to have to, and you was one of the main ones that didn't want to work from home. No. No. I'm digging the moringa. And so guess what? Let me tell y'all the flip side of that. Let me tell y'all this. Let me tell y'all when I really realized that it's something to what's going on. When they started saying, don't take, okay, so with your medicine, don't take this. Okay, so if you're on antibiotic, you can't eat grapefruits. Why you can't eat grapefruit? I mean, why on some of these medicines that y'all giving us, you're telling us not to take the natural stuff, and the natural stuff is what kept us healthy when there was. So y'all only told us the natural stuff because y'all was forced to, because y'all didn't have. Okay, so wait a minute, what? Okay, I parked it. Y'all know how I am with parking stuff. Yeah. So I parked it. Oh, you got no salt, no nothing. Not knowing that they got all of this fake meat, they putting plastic and stuff, the chickens and cows and shit, sick, milk is, all of this stuff. They're not even knowing it. Not knowing that they injecting stuff spraying stuff. I mean, just crazy. But anyway, not knowing that they don't want us to take the natural stuff because the natural stuff is healing. If you consistently take the natural, like you take the medicines that they prescribe, it'll heal you. And they don't want you healed. That's why every medicine that we take has a side effect. It's a market. They pimping us. And we falling for it because we believe everything they tell us. Right? So here, I'm finna go. Salt. See, now I'm doing research. See, now I'm believing them. I'm believing the natural. Oh, now I'm understanding Dr. CB or Sabby, whatever his name. Oh, okay. Salt. Not iodine salt. Natural salt. Sea salt. Himalaya salt. Salt. We thinking it's our enemy. Now, how we cook, I'm not talking about that. That how we cook is a lot of our problem. But we just talking about the medicine versus natural stuff. Okay? I'm almost there. Let me land this plane. Don't leave me. Salt. We thinking it's our enemy. We think we bloated because of salt. We salt. Iodine salt, yeah, because that's man-made. Okay? Bread, that's a whole nother thing. But salt, I'm saying salt. And then it dawned, I heard something that made all the sense in the world. It's like, you know what, y'all, you ain't even lying. When you have high blood pressure, you swollen out your ass, and you go to the hospital, what is the first thing they give you? Can somebody tell me in the comment section, what is the first thing they give? What are you on the whole time you in the hospital? You are not well until they stop giving it to you. Can I get 5 people to hit the like button? And can I get somebody to tell me what they give you? What's in the IV, Pink? What's in the IV? What is IV? Y'all, what is IV? What is IV? What is in the IV that they gonna keep your butt on until you start feeling better? Can somebody tell me what IV is? Sodium. Say soda. Saline. And saline is salt. First thing they give you. First thing they give you is salt. So can I land this plane? Can I have a smooth sailing? What is God? What did God say he is? What does God say he is? We know he the truth. We know he Alpha and Omega. What else is God? Of the earth. What is God of the earth? Is he the salt of the earth? He is the salt. And salt is a what? If they give it to you in IV, soon as you get in the ambulance, baby, they bringing you salt. But they got us believing that salt is bad for us. So they don't name it salt. They name it IV or, saline, Yeah. See how they trick us? And let me tell you something. You do not get off that IV. You do not get off that salt until you are well. Let me move on, y'all. I done been here too long. They have been playing in our face for years. And depending on how old you are, how wise you are, you should be able to remember when all of this processed food came out. If you're of a certain wisdom, you should probably remember when all of the Bennigan's and what was it? Bennigan's, and it was something else when those type of processed high carb stuff came out. Chili's. Yeah, Chili's lasted longer than Bennigan's, but all of them type of restaurants and stuff. If you think about it, that's when we start getting fat. TGI for all of that. All of that. All of that. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm finna go. But it's the wings that everybody love. Them wings, I remember when I was thinking, well, what type of chicken is this? I mean, what animal legs, and how the mass production of these little bitty legs, and they ain't always been out. So before they started coming out in the 80s and the 90s, where were they before? Yeah, but where were they before? I don't know how old you are, Vicky, but where were they before? And if you got a granddaddy and grandmama and them that had a farm, them little pieces of legs, them little wings, they wasn't out then. Where they come from? Think about it. What form? Hell, I was X amount of age ago when I realized, just found out that oxtails didn't come from an ox. Are they not really an oxtail? Let me go.
Please just have a little bit of common sense, okay?
What you say, beginning and the end, salt. Yes. He's the salt of the earth. So salt has to be good. That's why that's the healer. That's why they give it to you. Anytime there's an injury, they start the IV at any accident. They start the IV, put you on it before they putting you in the ambulance and pull it off. They starting with the IV. That's just how important salt is to the body. So a lot of us, not all of us, but there are some who have been conditioned to think salt is bad. So that means that we're deficient. Yeah, because salt of the earth has those minerals that we're deficient in. That's why we were so sick when that CO-19 came, because we were deficient. A lot of us didn't know that, like moringa and sea moss had 190 something or 100 in something of the minerals that our body need. Like, what? What class was that in? I don't remember that. I don't remember learning that. So we deficient in what? So a one-a-day vitamin don't get it for us? No, we didn't know that. We didn't really know that until the CO-19 and they didn't have a cocktail to put in your arm. We better wake up. They playing in our face. Now, I didn't mean to go all the way over here today.
That's just like
I'm sorry, y'all. I got all off track today. I don't know how we got over there. I cannot eat fresh chicken like that. No, I'm not saying that's my point. Is they don't have those little wings and wingettes and flats. They not on the farm. Where they come from? How many of y'all know them big old fat turkey legs ain't turkey? Do y'all know that? My son works in OR, never took a shot. He took care of many patients. He never got sick. He warned me to don't take it. He said they lying. Absolutely. And a lot of people are sick really bad right now. They really can't explain why you sick and why it don't seem to go away. And once you think that's where, here comes something else, it's because they took that shot. And if y'all took the one, I think they saying allegedly, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but they're saying that the ones that went back and the ones that had that 2-part series, yeah. You work in ICU. Am I wrong, Vicky? I mean, am I wrong? I mean, if I am, tell me. I am openly and honestly telling everybody that I am just now really getting fine-tuned into it. First thing I think, if my feet get swollen, I'm saying, oh, what I eat. Oh, some had a lot of salt. And iodine salt is a no-no. I'm talking about, like somebody said, Celtic, Himalaya, sea salt, natural salt. God-given salt. Not that processed salt. I ain't talking about none processed. But I know for a fact, baby, I'm still taking everything. I have added a couple of things. But everything that they told me to save my life when they didn't have anything to give us, I still take today. Every day. It's a part of my routine. Every day. And a word to the wise, and I know that y'all know I will not intentionally try to lead nobody astray. I will stock up on those natural herbs. I will stock up on them now, since they are warning us that something is coming. Every payday, I need to make sure I have my own natural concoction here. Only thing I've added that I wasn't, hurry up what though? Only thing that I have recently started adding, that's why I was trying to say earlier, oh my God, I did the metal cleanse drops to detox that, and the ones for the parasites, because a lot of the foods and oh my God, it's just so much in the parasites. So Monday was my first day taking the drops to get rid of the parasites. And I now take a handful of pumpkin seeds, the raw organic ones, every day. But I do I took shot. I developed a cyst behind my eye. I now get monthly eye injections. My son keeps saying, I told you not to take the shot. The other son took the shot. He has a chronic. He now has Crohn's. The Crohn's. Oh wow. Y'all know that's what they say. This is just the rumor. I mean, it is, but it ain't. But I have to say it on YouTube. What's going on with what triggered Deion Sanders? He on his 13th surgery. He can afford to redirect whatever. But yeah, so detox. I would start with a detox, but I started, so the cleansers, the detox I did, and then I did recently started with the sour sop drops. So that's just what I'm going to start doing now that I know that they are really planning. And something is coming. They say it's going to be 10 times worse than the other. Every time I get paid, I need to make sure I stock up on my I said sour sop, but I can't think of the other one. I can't think of the other name that I done said sour sop. It start with an S, don't it? Then the moringa, turmeric. Okay, so I have tremendously reduced the inflammation in my body. Tremendously. Because a lot of those are that we take that I take. It removes the inflammation out of our body. What is the name of that other one? Oh my God! Let me finish this with this young lady, y'all. I'm well over. Hey, where do you get sour sop? I actually. Are you in? I don't know where you are. So you can Amazon. Let me go get it so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Hold on. We all off topic now anyway. All off topic. Can you see that? That's for the oh, I got the light on. It's gonna show a glare. That's for the parasites. And that's the sea mouse and soursop. You can put it up under your tongue, or you can put it in your water, or your juice or smoothie. Every day. And that's for the worms, the parasites. And they say we all got them, tons of them. And it zaps our energy and a whole bunch of stuff. And it just kind of sits. And the pumpkin seeds will kill the, where we'll remove the eggs. I got moringa, which the sea moss is okay. The Paragod, I would suggest if you funny with taste, to put it in some juice, but you have to drink it often. I think with this one, I think you only do it for now y'all finna test my eyes. For an adult, you do that a full squeeze 3 times a day for 10 days. So you do this 3 times a day for 10 days, and it will rid the parasites. That one is the one it have a woodsy kind of taste to it, but this one is okay. Let me cut this light off for y'all mess around and see my do-rag. Not like y'all ain't seen it before. Okay, good people. I've been on here almost 3 hours. You will get A+. I'll get an A+. I do take moringa. I take moringa capsules. But majority of that, my stuff like that, I take a beetroot. I take the elderberry. I've even incorporated lion's mane mush. That's in here. That's in this. It has 12 things in it. 21. That's in here. And they also say that we are deficient really bad with another healer is magnesium. It's like 7 or 8 different magnesiums, and they don't the doctors will tell you not to take that as well too, because it's a healer. But baby, let me tell you something. My sleep has improved tremendously. Them old knees has improved tremendously. You talking about getting up out of the bed, trying to get in the middle of the night, and you hear that cracking? I take it every day. Now I do, but I take it every day, and I got that cream. Yes, that one right there. Okay. Yes. Yes. And once you get them them parasites out your body, you talking about sleeping beautiful. Everyone is low in but depending on what medicine you take, they'll tell you, oh no, you can't take magnesium, because magnesium is one of those minerals that we are deficient in, which is contributing to why you are sick. And if you get that routine, if you would take magnesium like you take the other stuff, your body will heal. I'm on to it now. Listen, y'all, I'm on to it now. Yeah, what they say, managed care. Yeah, the managed care is to manage their pockets, to build their pockets, and to keep you consistently needing their assistance. Come back and see me in 3 months. Come back and see me. I take a K2. I take that too. The K2 and D3. And I done showed y'all my cream for my knees and the bottom of your feet before you go to sleep, baby. My god brother, he have gout. I told him go get it. Go get it. He ordered it. And he was like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I put it on, I could tell the difference. Ooh-wee. Yeah, I ain't had to use. Man, you better, don't just wait until you're hurting. Use it every day. Use it every day. If you can tell immediately once you started rubbing it on your feet, then use it every day. What's wrong with us? Boy? You're talking about you ain't had to, you ain't, your feet, it ain't been hurting. Yeah, boy, if you don't put that on your feet every day, I take a capsule with sea moss. It has everything D2 and D3. Okay? And something else, once I got into the how bad the parasites and stuff was. Hey, Lisa, we all off topic. Who fault is it? Who fault it? Woo, who gonna put me in time out? I'm always talking about stay on topic. Stay on topic. But that was a part of the topic, right? Cause they be planting it. They be planting the stuff, and it was kind of on topic. Yeah. But y'all, but listen, once I found out about the parasites and how bad it was and how what it does to the body when they're not taken out, anxiety and just the sluggish and the stubborn weight in the stomach, all, constipation, just a whole bunch of stuff. I have been making, I haven't the other, maybe in about a few days, but the clove water, I done ordered some cloves. I done started, I was doing the clove water at night before I go to sleep. At this point, I don't know what is working so well, baby, but once I fall asleep, I'm talking about don't get up in the middle of the night having to use the restroom, because I was paying attention to that 3 o'clock in the morning stuff. Yeah. Once they started saying certain stuff and I was being honest with myself, I said, okay, let's see if that stops. And guess what? It stopped. So if I can just get this eyesight back right, I would be A-okay. A-okay. Because I did get them glasses that's supposed to make you see better. No. I see better without them. I don't know. It has to be something else. Clears your arteries. Wait 10 minutes. Clear the arteries. Good cardiovascular system. Yeah, listen, y'all. We got, I'm telling you, I can only speak for myself. And I have prescription glasses and I still but this just kind of happened. And if, when I'm honest with myself, I can at least say it started over a year ago. And I thought that they had changed the lights, the freeway lights. I was like, what? I don't like these lights. This guy, the glare, I can't see. What is wrong with these lights? Why they put I don't blame the lights. When they change these lights on Central Express, I don't wanna go over there. Something wrong with these lights. But I had a brain tumor removed. Oh, bless your heart. How you feeling? Bye, Elizabeth. I'm sorry. We got all off. What time is it? What time is it? 7:39. Okay. Those glasses. Oh, no. They didn't help me at all. You know which one? I have had 20/20 vision all my life, just until about a year or so ago. When they said, wait a minute, and then they will adjust to whatever you need far side. Maybe I didn't let them sit on long enough. I don't know, but they didn't work for me. Y'all want me to finish this up with Candace? Y'all want me to finish this up, or we good? Because we almost 3 hours. It was a lot, yeah. Now, I'm going to wait until I'm out and about on the road at night and put them on. Not that I'm a drive. I'm going to let somebody else drive. It sounds like cataracts. Oh. Okay, let me tell you something. I don't believe in that hereditary stuff. Because that hereditary stuff is based on how we eat. And once I stop eating like my family, you know, some of the stuff they have, I don't have. But my mama do have it. I started taking that too. I like it. I take it every day. It's a part of one of my regimens. So that's what I said. If I keep taking that, because that's a vitamin for the eyes. And once I am consistent on that, Ocuvite, then I think, now if that don't help, because it has helped. It absolutely helped. And I got some eye drops, but I really didn't want to take the eye drops for dry eyes. But I will say that Ocuvite do help a lot. Because my TV way over there. I don't know if y'all can see that. And I was having a hard, y'all. And I was having a hard time seeing it. And now I can see. I can't, don't ask me to, read nothing out, but I can see. But it's way over there. Let me try to see. I have not worn any contacts in weeks. But I'm hoping that once I get detox with a lot of stuff, I think a whole bunch of stuff will get back to the way it was. And if not, I will get some glasses. I've been paying for, I ain't gonna tell all off on myself, but I've been paying for eye insurance for years and haven't used it. A7NT. What are you taking for your eyes? That Ocuvite that Janet put in the comment section. Mrs. Tom, she's in the medical field too. And when I was complaining about it, she told me to get it. And I got it. Let me go get the bottles up. Let me see. And my god brother who I was telling y'all about, and I told him to go get that magnesium. I also told him to get the omega-3. And what he did was he did get the omega-3. And I tell people when they're not as sharp as they used to be, please get you some omega-3. And how I describe that is that it feels like all your spark plugs ain't sparking. And if you're a man, you understand that. So it's like you know when to change your spark plug because You don't have the same amount of kick of fire that you normally would have. So when you take the omega-3, it'll get all your spark plugs to sparking. Soon as I said that, he said, yeah, that's what it feel like. So when you know that you ain't sparking and you don't, get you some omega-3. But what he told me is that he got this one, because it had for eyes. And I never had tried it. So I like this too, because it's for the brain, the heart, general, and your eyes. So eyes, brains, bones, that's what it says, and heart health. Every day. So for the eyes. So I have been making sure I am mindful that I need to take the supplements for the eyes. Because I'm honest that I haven't been eating greens and spinach the way I normally, and carrots I never have liked, and I've slowed down on broccoli, and so yeah, I'm trying. I don't want them to catch me slipping. So what I'm not sharing nothing I ain't never tried. I want to be able to tell my tea sippers what worked, baby. And I think we need to get ready and get caught up and get not get caught without it, just in case. Because you ain't putting nothing in me. I promise I'm going to look at everything like you trying to put the mark in me. Y'all play games too much. Can I finish now? Can I finish? I need to go and finish this, because you know once I'm gone, I'm not coming back to it. So can we finish this? I have not worn contacts in weeks. I don't know what A7N is, Samantha. Use your eye insurance. Get you some new baseline. Yeah, I'm going to go. Okay, y'all, come on. Let's finish. Let's hear this. Because she really is talking some good stuff, because people need to know, coming from somebody who was involved with the Zionist stuff. I don't know how she didn't know that it was not of God, but she knows now. So, at any point, thank you, Lord. She's on it, and she's spreading the truth. That it's man-made. They are deceivers. They are pedos. They are in high places. And they are planning to take us out, allegedly. Let's go.
Our politicians, Jeffrey Epstein, a lot of questions about who shot JFK and why we couldn't get those files. You're going to be blessed if you keep supporting this. And that is the reality, is that there was this incursion after the Schofield Bible. And this is what I really challenge people who believe this heresy, to look into the history of the Schofield Bible, look into who funded that Bible to teach Christians how to view the nation of Israel. The Bible is not referring to the modern state of Israel and Bibi Netanyahu. God is not calling upon you to support the
genocide,
slaughter of women and children perpetually, and is going to award you with heaven, because kids are crying and starving and dying in the Middle East. I mean, you do have to have, if you don't have religious...
So it's a war on women and kids. So they just want men. They have a prejudice against women. So they, do away with women and kids. My God, today.
Fervor or religious understanding, please just have a little bit of common sense, okay? God does not support the nonstop murder of innocent lives. That's just like Christianity 101.
Back to you.
That's true.
Have you heightened your security? I asked you that question because I heard that you've spoken about that. I'm just asking. I don't know. Interesting. Have you?
Let's be frank. I have not heightened my security, to answer your question. And the reason for that is because I understand what kind of demons we're fighting. And I put my faith in the Lord. You know, my
This was months ago, y'all.
And
let's be clear. This was before Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
I try to live my life very honestly and let people know what's going on in the background. Obviously, I don't know if you saw this, but while I was on maternity leave, the FBI called me. There was a group chat with 40 Jews in New Jersey plotting my assassination.
I did not see that.
It really happened. Yeah. A man was arrested. And by the way, the irony of this is we are told, because he was upset that I'm speaking against the state of Israel, we are told that in Iran we have to invade because they're religious fanatics, right? Look at what we're dealing with. People that believe that this state has the right, God has blessed them with the right to murder and kill people. And we also have their supporters now trying to kill Candace Owens. That's a fact. You can go look this up. FBI Candace Owens, the guy who's been arrested. And it, by the way, he pled guilty. This wasn't like he got caught up in some plot.
Oh, wow.
He pled guilty to trying to murder Candace Owens. Yeah, I think that really does say it all. We are in quite a paradox here.
Can y'all believe
this? Candace, hold that thought.
Plotting my assassination.
I did not see that.
It really happened. Yeah. A man was arrested. And by the way, the irony of this is we are told, because he was upset that I'm speaking against the state of Israel, we are told that in Iran we have to invade because they're religious fanatics, right? Look at what we're dealing with. People that believe that this state has the right, God has blessed them with the right to murder and kill people. And we also have their supporters now trying to kill Candace Owens. That's a fact. You can go look this up. FBI Candace Owens.
Well, I see why she knows
by
who.
the way, he pled guilty. This wasn't like
I see why she know who took out.
To trying to murder Candace Owens. Yeah, I think that really does say it all. We are in quite a paradox here.
Hold that thought, Candace. Hold that
wow.
thought. I got more to ask you, but not before I pay these bills. Back with more in a minute.
Simple. I only pay
that
$10
is so mind blowing. I
connection.
see why
Fast,
she's so
anywhere.
intense, and I see why she knows what she knows.
To pose that to, I watched the video of you from years ago and your definition of MAGA, and you were saying it's counter to what we're witnessing today. So on one side, you might see a conservative commentator like a Mark Levin. You might see a Ted Cruz. You might see folks like that. And you look at Donald Trump and some of the things the president is doing in this day and age. And you juxtapose that to a Steve Bannon, a Tucker Carlson, even Marjorie Taylor Greene. She spoke about this as well. You seem to be on that side. And just to make sure that I'm clear with what I'm talking about, this is a quote, there's a tweet from Marjorie Taylor Greene on X. Tucker Carlson is one of my favorite people. He fiercely loves his wife, children, and our country. Since being fired by the neocon network Fox News, he has more popularity and viewers than ever before. He unapologetically believes the same things I do, that if we don't fight for our country and our own people, then we will no longer have a country for our children and our grandchildren. And foreign wars / intervention / regime change put America last, kill innocent people, are making us broke, and will ultimately lead to our destruction.
Absolutely.
That's not kooky. That's what millions of Americans voted for. It's what we believe is America first. How do you feel about what Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted there on X? Do you completely agree with her? Is there anything that you disagree with?
Well, let's be clear. Right now, the people applauding Donald Trump are Meghan McCain, Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz ran against Donald Trump, and John McCain, with his dying breath, was a never-Trumper, with his dying breath. And I remember Meghan McCain standing at his funeral saying, this country was always great. It never needed to be made great again, to take a stab at Trump, even as she was giving words for her father, which is remarkable, right? So if Trump is aligning himself with the people that didn't support him, and the people that did support him are saying what he's doing is wrong, that doesn't mean that MAGA betrayed Trump. That means that Trump is betraying MAGA, okay? MAGA is a term, make America great again, and it was because the American people felt like our country was in a steep decline while we were being told that we had to build up every other country with programs. We had to spread democracy in the Middle East. That's been a remarkable failure. And at the same time, our veterans are coming home and they're being treated like crap. We talked about the farmers, we talked about the ranchers. That was the vision that Donald Trump painted that made me get behind him. And I took a lot of bullets for that. A lot of bullets for that, especially as a black person who's not allowed to vote Republican. And I don't regret voting for him in 2020 and voting for him and telling people to vote for him because I truly believe he was the better candidate. And I still don't regret voting for him against Kamala Harris because I still believe he was the better candidate. But this is a betrayal, plain and simple. There's no other way to say that. And I believe what's motivating that is he took $100 million from Miriam Adelson. And these people, you're talking about Mark Levin, they are Israel first, okay? Meghan McCain, she is war machine first. How's that trust fund going to get topped up? What did John McCain do? These people are neocons because they support Meghan McCain standing at his funeral saying, this country was always great.
That's honest. That's as honest as you've heard any
Trump, even
Trump supporter, former Trump supporter. That is as honest as and if you know anything about Candace Owens, baby, she went to bat for him. She stood up against anybody. It didn't matter. So for her to be honest and own that is commendable. That is integrity. It's a betrayal to the ones who believed in him. And the only way people are going to come to terms to that reality is to just own it. Yeah. He played in everybody who believed in him's face.
As she was giving words for her father, which is remarkable, right? So if Trump is aligning himself with the people that didn't support him, and the people that did support him are saying what he's doing is wrong, that doesn't mean that MAGA betrayed Trump. That means that Trump is betraying MAGA, okay? MAGA is a term, make America great again, and it was because the American people felt like our country was in a steep decline while we were being told that we had to build up every other country with programs. We had to spread democracy in the Middle East. That's been a remarkable failure. And at the same time, our veterans are coming home and they're being treated like crap. We talked about the farmers, we talked about the ranchers. That was the vision that Donald Trump painted that made me get behind him. And I took a lot of bullets for that. A lot of bullets for that, especially as a black person who's not allowed to vote Republican. And I don't regret voting for him in 2020 and voting for him and telling people to vote for him because I truly believe he was the better candidate. And I still don't regret voting for him against Kamala Harris because I still believe he was the better candidate. But this is a betrayal, plain and simple. There's no other way to say that. And I believe what's motivating that is he took $100 million from Miriam Adelson. And these people, you're talking about Mark Levin, they are
somebody bailed him out.
Okay. Meghan McCain, she is war machine first. How's that trust fund going to get topped up? What did John McCain do? These people are neocons because they support nonstop war because that is how they enrich themselves. And if that is what Trump is aligning with, if that's what he wants his legacy to be, I came in fighting neocons and now I'm
glad to know I've been telling the truth.
That's on him. That really is. I can't tell him
was
what
in
to
debt.
think or what to say or who to support. I just won't support it.
That's fair, but does that surprise you? Because listen, in fairness to you, like I said, I only spoke to Trump once since he's been president, and that's when I did the whole town hall thing on News Nation with Chris Cuomo and Bill O'Reilly and those guys. Prior to that, I'd never spoken to Trump since 2014. But before he ran for president, people in the sports community knew Donald Trump very, very well. We used to go to his fights at his, the casinos and the hotels and stuff like that. We used to see him at basketball games, talk to him all the time. And the Donald Trump we knew was what folks, maybe not you specifically, I don't recall this, but most folks classified him as. Candace, he was a deal maker. You know what? Whatever it took to get what he wanted.
But he lost on those deals, though.
And so for me, this
but
is
he
not
never
a surprise
told y'all he
when
was.
You talk about him.
He lost.
Left in terms, or very right actually, when it comes to some of the things that he's elected to do. But most people with MAGA seem surprised, and they.
Yeah, but they must not have known that he was $100 million in debt. Those businesses failed. That's why he would have all of these losses. So he would be broke. When people would say he was broke, but then he was loaning money, borrowing money, manipulating money. If he was trying to get a loan, he was filthy rich. But at the IRS, that's why he don't like the IRS. Because he was broke. And that's why he did not want to show his taxes. Because his taxes said he was broke. He did not want the people to know that all those great business deals, he's a good businessman, he was broke.
I do feel like they are uttering words like betrayal. To me, it's more the same. It's who he is. He's going to lean towards getting what he wants, and it's just that simple.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. I would say why we're surprised is because we have...
Steve, that's with his money. Yeah, he's supposed to do his job for the people. And he hasn't learned how to separate that. So what he's doing now is making business deals with taxpayers' money. And he don't have permission to do that. So he's stealing. You see the difference, Stephen Smith? Those chances he was taking before with those laws was his money. And you, sir, should not be okay with him stealing taxpayers' money, making deals with foreign countries, and trafficking immigrants, U.S. citizens, whoever. Yeah. He's big on pushing immigrants to those foreign countries because he's made deals with those foreign countries. And all they're going to do is take advantage of the women and the little kids. Human trafficking. And if he is so okay with it, why is he not sending his grandkids, his kids, his baby mamas? Why is he, if this is such a great thing, nobody from birthright, that includes his grandkids. Put them on those planes in the midnight hour and send your kids. They better, even though they immigrants. You get your big ass on there too. Yeah. That part. So it must not be a good deal for the taxpayers if you don't want to send your family over to foreign countries to be taken advantage of. That is such a hypocrite. How dare you talk about criminals, thugs, when you are one? How dare you talk about immigrants when you are one? What is that called? And why do people justify that? Why are people okay with that? Double standard. It's crazy to me.
Had him in office for 4 years, and he wasn't a warmonger. He wasn't aligned with the neocons. He was fighting them tooth and nail the first 4 years that he was in office. And it seemed to us that and I think anybody would agree, the country was getting better. I mean, I think that's why he increased his margins in voting. If you look at the demographics, like,
he is a master manipulator.
For him,
his mama says so.
Around when he got into office, because the rhetoric fell on deaf ears when people were like, "Oh, he's going to do this. He's going to bring us into war." Well, we go, he didn't do that for the first 4 years. So yeah, it has been a shift in how he behaved in the first.
No, he did not do it in the first 4 years, but he was going to do it in the next 4 years that he got popped out of and lost. And that's why he was refusing to leave, because he had deals that he needed to fulfill, and he needed them 4 more hours to implement what he's trying to implement now. He didn't get a chance to. Oh, it was in the works. Oh, most definitely. Oh, most definitely.
4 years of office, but to put 2 and 2 together, big money wasn't behind him the first time, right? That was the whole thing. Nobody wanted him. It was the Never Trump movement that was led by the McCain types. He can't get into office. And so did he buck to them suddenly when he took that check from Miriam Adelson and then change his motivations? Perhaps. We're having to do some internal soul searching for those of us who have voted for him second and third time to wonder what is the sea change. But I think you have to admit that there has been one. He wasn't putting us into wars from 2020 to 2024.
Are you fearful at all that the Trump presidency, in terms of him being the 47th president of the United States, that it could end up being worse than anything you ever imagined if Kamala Harris had won the election? Is that possible?
No, I think Kamala Harris, it was going to be similar to Joe Biden. The advisors and people that were around her were going to be running the show. And we can disagree on this, but I've never thought that she had the cognitive capabilities to be running the office if you just look at her record and how she really got into office. And I'm speaking about her Californian record. But with Trump, do I have a fear of World War III? Yeah, that's why we're speaking up and saying this is unacceptable, right? That's why we are saying what you are doing is wrong and letting him know that we feel betrayed. We went along with it and said, this is fine, we just trust the process, then I would probably be more fearful. But I think it's becoming clear that the base is fractured, and hopefully he'll respond to that.
Candace, where do you go from here if he doesn't respond, or he doesn't respond favorably to the kind of things that you are asserting and stating? Where do you go? Because we know how you feel about the Democratic Party, okay? And now we're hearing how you feel about this betrayal that you think that he has exercised since he's become president again. Where do you go from here if that doesn't change as it pertains to him?
I got a Mazzaro
I'm
knife,
looking to
and
go
what
to another
followed was
country.
an absolute fiasco. Here's what really pisses me off.
Well, I think no matter what, I'm always going to support a candidate that I believe is telling the truth or that is going to do the most good
Y'all
for
can
America.
say what y'all want to
At
say.
the end of the day,
I have never
my day is not.
Never in my life have I felt like this about a Democrat. And when that Ebola came, Obama put a stop to that pretty quick. But I'm going to be honest. This is just my opinion. I believe that Trump unleashed the virus ahead of plan. I believe that wholeheartedly, because he was trying to come up with a pill. He was about to go into the medical field. He even tried to come up with a cocktail that failed. So you can say it's left and right, Democrats, all that. That's bull crap. He's worse than any Democrat ever. He's intentionally sabotaging the United States because he's in the Epstein files, because he has made deals. He is creating a war on U.S. land within, not foreign countries. He's starting wars on purpose so that he could stay in office. He's milking, he's stealing. His salary is not billions and billions of dollars in months. So you can be naive if you want to, Kay. I'm not. And it ain't about left, right, front, or back. It's about reality. And it saddens me that the right, as y'all say, are so into, oh, it's the left, it's the left, it's the left, it's the left. The left, the left, the left, the left. That you can be manipulated in all that he has to say Anytime he does something wrong, is put it on the left. And when it comes out that it is the right, everybody gets quiet. That's hoodwink to me. It's just an excuse to say, oh, we're better than the Democrats. They didn't do nothing. Yeah, that's because y'all wouldn't let nothing pass. But y'all don't say that. So as far as I'm concerned, majority of the right are manipulators. Because they intentionally do not tell the truth. And I'm saying that respectfully. No, I think the right needs to get it together. Because it's the right who took out Charlie. And because they chose the wrong guy, now that they're finding out that he is right, they've gotten real quiet. Ain't no more riots. It's just done got quiet. Because it's one of y'all.
Motivated by politicians. I don't have faith in politicians, right? I have faith in Jesus Christ. And so this is not going to throw, I'm not going, oh my God, I'm going to become a Democrat tomorrow, or I'm no longer going to vote for Republicans anymore. I think that,
I respect her honesty.
If anything, if he really truly continues to follow this and does what Bibi Netanyahu wants, then it's going to bring both sides
okay, I'm
together,
sorry.
because we're going to recognize that everything is about keeping us warring with one another while the same people.
If I misunderstood, I'm sorry. So that means that was for whoever want to blame somebody else for this bad behavior. Because that's bad behavior. They have a whole track. The government and foreign countries are in cahoots with a whole human trafficking. Imagine all them missing kids. They ain't looking for them because they know where they are. Oh man, that's just whoa, man. That's just ooh-wee.
People at the top are benefiting. The oligarchs.
I'm sorry, Kay.
And so I don't have plans to leave the Republican Party. Like I said, I don't regret voting for him. I regret what he's doing right now. And until I see who the candidates are, I won't be able, in the future, I won't be able to remark on where I'm going to go, because I'm always going to follow what I believe to be right.
Does any candidate stand out there in your mind? I mean, when I think about it, they've been talking about me as a presidential candidate. Candace, get that out their head. I'm not qualified. I don't know. I'm learning stuff from you and everybody else. I don't know any better. And damn it, I'm not interested. But I will tell you, I am interested in highlighting those who deserve to be highlighted from both sides of the aisle, to make sure we can do what we can to get this country steered in the right direction and see some figurative light at the end of the tunnel, per se. Is there anybody that's standing out in your mind that we should pay close attention to moving forward?
She gonna say Charlie?
Thomas Massie of Kentucky. He has been the most consistent America First person. He has earned the ire of Trump and the ire of AIPAC because he does not accept their money, and he votes against every war, and he will not send a single dollar overseas. He votes against every measure to send money overseas until the American people are taken care of first. And so,
is that the one that hammered Patel?
Pressure the most.
That Massie guy?
And I would get behind him.
I liked him.
I feel that he would never betray the American people, because just you can look at his voting record and see where he stands on the issues.
Damn, Candace, only one? I asked you had some names, and you gave me one name. So I'm going like this. That's a bad state of affairs. As much as you know about politics, as much as you follow this stuff, if I ask you an open-ended question like that and you only give me one name, I got a reason to be really, really nervous, Candace, because that means you don't believe in any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I when it comes to Israel, it's crazy to see how they
a lot of people.
It's a nonsense. Ukraine as well, the way that they've just been sending our money to an effective laundromat. none of this is okay, and the American people should be upset that we've been promised, oh, we're going to stop this, we're not going to do this, and it's always the next emotional conditioning of why we have to send money overseas while the American people continue to suffer, and our cities are in a state of decline. So, no, I'm not impressed with politicians on the left or the right at the moment, at varying degrees. They betray us more than others, but there's no one that I find to be impressive right now. And maybe there's some people that I'm missing, and I'm sure I am, that are outside, that sit outside.
I thought she would have said Charlie.
In terms of people that are in D.C., Thomas Massey is the first name that comes to mind.
I think, listen, it's not to me, I don't have a problem with America first. I do have a problem with America only, because I don't want to be a nationalist to the point that I forget the global perspective, because obviously we do business across the world. When I think about Israel, I'm saying to myself, that's supposed to be the lone democracy in the Middle East. You're looking at Ukraine. Okay, if you don't support them, then Russia gets more empowered. I get a bit concerned about that. Again, I don't know as much as people like yourself, but those are the kind of things from a distant perspective I look at and I say, okay, I don't want to just be pouring money all over the place, but in the same breath, if these other nations need our assistance and they're allies of ours, I'm not opposed to that necessarily. Do you believe in having a global impact, having our footprints around the world globally to make sure that, the world is a better place or a safer place to some degree? Do you believe in us playing that kind of role?
Don't wear these perfumes if you don't like compliments. Everyone has been talking about all of these perfumes, but honestly, they're just way out of my budget. So today we're going to be trying out these OUTCHA perfumes, which...
First and foremost, I do not support Ukraine. I do not support Zelensky. I think he's a modern-day Bolshevik who's mass sending Christians to slaughter in an unwinnable war. He's just mass murdering Christians. And so if you're telling me at least, Putin is defending Christians at this single moment, and I don't pick Putin over Ukraine, but I know that Ukraine is more corrupt because we conducted a color revolution and we installed someone in Ukraine back in 2014. John McCain was behind that, and this is what we do all over the world. These fake protests, and then we overthrow a duly elected leader, and that's what we did in Ukraine. Ukraine is a corrupt country. It's a laundromat of America. Israel is not a democracy by any stretch of the imagination. You cannot say it is a democracy and then listen to their absolute BS excuses as to why Gaza is treated in the way that it is, and why Gaza doesn't have any voting rights. When we gave them voting rights, why are you giving them anything? What if you're sitting here saying that at that moment you accepted that they could run they could run what they wanted to in Gaza at that time, but you have the power to turn off the light, shut off the electricity, shut off the water. This is an apartheid state. This is what Gaza is, and I'm glad you're showing images. They have been treating these people basically just above the poverty line, not allowing too much food into Gaza for a very long time. And Norm Finkelstein was the person who woke me up to really how Gaza is run. It's an apartheid state. They don't have voting rights, and no one should support it and keep allowing people to call it a democracy. It's absolutely foolish. And again, that's because they keep us ignorant in America with ridiculous biblical arguments that are actually heretical, and it's not what the Bible is expressing at all. But all of that aside, going back to your question,
they're playing in our face, Christians.
I am America first. I am not necessarily America only, but I am only going to be America first until we fix our issues. And that is, again, common sense, right? You have a household. If you got to feed your kids. If I said, hey, Steven, actually don't feed your kids, and I'm going to need you to feed the neighbor's kids, I'm going to need you to feed my kids, the people over that you don't even know out in Utah first, while your kids are starving, you would go, that makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense. Of course, I'm going to make sure my kids are fed first. This is America. Let's make sure that our people are taken care of first, that our people are able to live well, to have jobs, and to feed their family.
Yeah, I mean, how can he have a comeback off of that?
Trying to fix the world's problems. I mean, we send dollars for ridiculous things to establish, trans rights in Pakistan. Like, what are we doing? That's a laundromat. That money is obviously not going there. It's being stolen from the American people.
But what about the issues that's going on right here in this country when we're talking about the immigration issue in Los Angeles, and how you've got, the president sending 4,000 members of the National Guard, 700 Marines to the city of Los Angeles? Obviously, it sparked a protest throughout this nation. No Kings protest, because you know the left was going to be diametrically opposed to his position. It's not just stuff going on abroad. It's stuff going on right here in the streets of America. What
Fix
do you
it
say
here
about
first.
that? Because like you said, fixing our own house obviously should be a priority in your eyes. I don't disagree with you there. But what do you have to say about that? What's been going on in LA?
Obviously, it is the job of the federal government when you have an incursion, as we did during Biden's administration, of millions of people coming across the border to get those people out of the country. Who does that hurt? It hurts us, obviously, when all of these people are unaccounted for in our country and playing a part in the economy while they're not paying taxes. That's ridiculous. You got to go home. There was a legal way to get into this country. I know because I married an immigrant, and it took us 7 years. Okay, 7 years for my husband to go through the process to become a legal American. So I am especially insulted when these people pretend that there's just no way to do this. It's a long process, it's a hard process, but you can do that. And you're not going to tell me that all of these people need to stay in the country that they've been in for less than 4 years, especially the newcomers under Biden's very open border policy. Americans suffer when people are in this country unaccounted for. Sorry, adios amigos. You got to go home. I don't care at all. You got to follow the rules.
That policy was there before Biden. It's always been like that. It's in the Constitution. So why would you say under Biden? And it has been like that all my life. They never sent people back like that. Very seldom. I mean, and it's been like that. So no, it was like that with Bush 1, Bush 2, Ford, Clinton, Reagan. Come on now.
I'm not going to feel bad for you because you broke the law and got away with it while there was a different president.
Now, was your husband, did you meet him here or did you meet him in a foreign country? Was he already here when you met him? How long he been here? Yeah, we gonna play now we gonna play crazy because he went through the process. Yeah, but he was already here illegally. He's not a birthright citizen.
And to the extent that you're going to have individual states saying, oh no, we're going to allow people to break the law, and yet everyone in the entire Tennessee, whether you're in Texas, Tennessee, we all have to pay for it. That's ridiculous. That's absolute. We are going to all have to pay for it. Why should I have to go to work to pay for people that broke into this country? So I don't understand it. But going back to your question, of course, this should be addressed first, right? These are uprisings that are taking place in America. These are issues and debates that need to be had and won in America. And that is another reason why we should not be having discussions about what Israel is doing. They're always doing the same thing. They're bombing innocent people and claiming that they have a right to do it.
Please don't tell me your feelings about what you just described going on in LA in terms of the immigration issue. You don't feel that way about the children, do you? Children,
it doesn't matter if it's to say that the argument is that a child is allowed to break the law. Let me tell you why that's really wrong. They say this is like the separation argument. You're going to separate them from their parents. No, first off, everyone should go home together. You should take your child and you should go back to Mexico. The second thing that I want to say about how ridiculous that is we would never have the argument that if, let's use an example of a black man commits a crime in America, let's say he shot someone, and now he's got to go to prison. We wouldn't say, please tell me that you've considered, Judge, that, yeah, he shot someone. Yeah, he broke the law, but he has a child.
Yeah, that's what they're doing with...
Please allow him to be released back onto the streets. No. You break the law, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, coming from another country, there has to be a consequence for that. And we understand that.
Just brought that up the other day.
What's his name? What's the Diddy? That's what they're trying to do with Diddy?
It's the exact same thing here. Your children and you should not be separated, should all have to go home. When your parent breaks the law, unfortunately, the children have to suffer the consequences of that. Sometimes daddy has to go to jail. Sometimes daddy has to go back to Mexico.
This is the world's first.
I ain't gonna say I understand
can remove
that.
Up to 10 times more earwax. Latest studies show that traditional cotton swabs.
You're very, very popular. You don't need my help in being even more popular, but you're going to get it anyway, because anybody that I bring on from now on that has an opposition to anything you said, I'm going to play your clips, Candace. I'm going to play your clips for them to see. I'm going to say, hey, did you see what she said? What's your response? I'm just letting you know in advance. I'm just letting you know in advance. I'm going to be like, look, did you hear what she said? Just so you know, because I want you to know there's folks out there that think like this. They feel this way, and they're making very valid points. I just want y'all to know that. But listen, before I let you get on out of here, and I really appreciate your time.
I do think we pay for them.
I had to get back to Tucker Carlson because of the War Room pop.
I do. Yeah, I'm finna get ready to go. Yeah, I'm finna go on 4 hours. I do think we pay for them. I think just like anybody else, they figure out ways to manipulate and get assistance. Now they do work. Now I will say they work. They will work, and they can survive in ways that U.S. citizens can't. I mean, they will all stay together, and they can cook several meals with some rice and beans and some meat. I mean, you know, they are good farmers. They are good, you know, they are good at a lot of things. But I do think that they are like anybody else. They will figure out a way to work. They work when they don't have valid documents. And I do think that they get assistance and aid the same way they are able to work without proper documents. There's a whole underground. So I do think we do pay for them. I do think taxpayers do pay for them. But, you know, we pay for people in the U.S. who milk the system and get over. You know, we paying for a lot of people's with those fake PPP loans, and they are some of the reason why we're in inflation. I mean, I don't know why they didn't think that there was just money to blow. I don't know where they thought all that money was coming from, and how are we gonna recoup that money? And it was fraudulently obtained. I mean, I know they thought Trump was giving them a gift, but hell, you see, he got in trouble and don't want to pay it back. So I think it's a lot of manipulation. But I also think that he thought, or they thought, that sending the immigrants, getting them out of the U.S., that it was going to force people to get those jobs that the immigrants was taking by way of taking aid from the needy. That was what was supposed to happen. Yeah, Lee Auntie, yeah, I think we do pay for them. Yes, we do pay for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do pay for them now. There are a lot of people using the system, been using the system, feel justified in using the system. You know, I feel some type of way about that PPP loan, and for a lot of different reasons. And I feel like I'm paying for high groceries, high gas, high utilities, because, I mean, just all over the board, because a lot of people lied on their applications. Some of my favorite little spots didn't make it because they were not able to get assistance because of all of the fake jobs that was created. Yeah. A lot of legitimate businesses didn't make it through that. And then I have family members, young folk, who did it, and I'm fearful that once, you know, they taxes and everything comes together, and those numbers don't match because you ain't never had no business, and I thought you was on Section 8. And so if you was on Section 8 because you didn't have no money, how you have a business to get a PPP loan? So did you have a business or was you broke? And then they wind up having a federal charge. Yeah, because a lot of farmers know that the bougie citizens ain't gonna want to get out. Black, you think somebody black? I mean, who wouldn't? Don't already have a farm is finna go out in a field again? Are you crazy? No. In Texas or in the country, you want me to go out in the field and do what? Oh no, I ain't gonna be able to do that. Then what you gonna do? They say you gotta get a job, and they don't send all them people off, so they expecting for you to get your ass out there in that sun and chop down some corn or pick water. I mean, whatever. Now I know some grown folks that ain't. I'm not getting out of no field. You said pickles for the McDonald's cheeseburger. I'm talking about the farmer jobs. Yeah. So all the immigrants that was holding down jobs, they're going to expect for people. And I get it. I totally understand. But I think the reality of it is that they going to try to act like they going to get a job, and they going to get a job with that badass attitude. And then when they get fired, because they don't know how to talk and communicate with people. And my baby, I got to go because all that crazy shit, they going to lose their job, and they going to be out there stealing and robbing and killing. Now, I'm sorry I had to go there, but that's just the reality of it. Customer service ain't like it used to be. I done seen more fights at McDonald's and Burger King and the whole staff jumping in on a fight. I'm like, what? They don't care nothing about losing no job. And they not gonna go out in the field and pick shit, grow nothing. And I just got my hair done. What about my fingernails? No. You know how much I pay to get my nails done? Come on now. Come on now. I'm that's gonna sweat my hair out. You lying to me? You lying to me? I ain't no good. I got all my rhinestones and I got all this stuff on my fingernails, and you want me to go out and dig in some dirt? Oh no, I ain't gonna be able to do that. But you got 4 or 5 kids, and they saying they finna take you off of this assistance, and let me tell you what, them eyelashes. Can I keep it real before I go? Can I keep it real before I go? Can I get your 99? Can I get your 99? Can I get your 99? I can count. All right. Can I tell you what she gonna do? She here. All right. She gonna sell some pools. 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 Thank you, naturally knowledge. Woo! Am I lying? Am I lying? All right. She. All right. I gotta pay my bills. I gotta pay my bills. All right. All right. And then here go AunTeaFee. But hell, that's trafficking now. You can't do that. You can't do that. Then we just watched the Diddy stuff. You can't sell that thing no more like that. Oh, I just won't go across straight line. Baby Sinead coming out. You hear me? Before somebody go out in that field and do what them Hispanics was doing, they gonna say, oh, some balls. All right. That's called keeping it real. They go sell some bus. That's just a chance I'm gonna have to take. I am not going out in no field and mess up my nails and my hair. All right. Some donkey love. Some dooney love. Woo! Woo! I ain't no good, Emma. Y'all, let me go. Let me go. Stop. We gonna have some buzz, and we gonna have a buzz party. Woo, Lord. Lord, girl, AunTeaFee, what's your side hustle gonna be? Hell, I'm gonna do some hair. That's gonna be my side hustle. I'm gonna have to do some hair. Okay? I'm gonna have to get me some of that magnesium stuff and rub on these knees and feet. And I'm gonna do some hair. I'm gonna do some lashes. Yeah, I'm gonna do some individual lashes. And hell, if I have to, I'll start back. I can't do all that stuff by sticking all that and making them coffins and all, you know. But honey, I'm gonna do some hair. Hell, if I have to, I'll do some pedicures before I start. I'm too old to be selling pussy. I ain't never saw. But I ain't going out in no field. Unless I am doing a garden for myself and make sure I have some more garden field, boo. You ain't finna work me like I'm a Hebrew slave. Oh, no, boo-boo. No. I ain't as strong as my ancestors. I'm gonna tell you that now. God be with them. Ooh, thank you, Lord. I respect everything you did for us. I ain't going out in that field. Oh, no. I'm hot natured, too. Y'all see I got a fan sitting right here. I ain't gonna be able to do that. Talking about calling in sick. I don't have no sick days. I don't have no weather days. You want me to get out there in the rain? What? Yeah, I ain't no good. See, this is why I don't be saying. Y'all done had me on here too long. I've been on here too long. Now I'm keeping it real. I'm just telling it what it is. That was their plan. Okay? Making America great again. Now they can say all that other stuff they talking about. Okay? Who else they think gonna go out in them fields if they done sent all the immigrants away? Who else? Who else is left? Huh? Let's just think about it. If they deported illegal immigrants, who gon' tilt the soil on the farms? Who gonna work at all them for plants and shit, where they putting that plastic in the foods and yeah, all that crazy. Who gonna do it? Huh? Who gonna do it? I mean, can somebody tell me who left to do it? Plastic. They got plastic in the meats. Oh my God! I don't even want to talk about that. That'll make. Oh my God! My God! My God! My God! My God! I am ready to leave this country. I ain't lying, and I am ready to buy some land and harvest my own food and eat my own food. Oh, we don't even want to talk about the water. They had a brother dumping it all the water all in what they dug up in the sand. In what was it? And they had a big old hole where they was dumping water that he was picking up from grocery stores and dumping it, saying, "Do not drink." I don't want to say the name because I don't know. With that, it started with a D and end with an I. He said, "Do not drink it. Do not drink it." That's why I'm and now I'm telling y'all it's so bad now, and I don't want to become so paranoid, but I put a little of that Celtic kosher Himalaya salt in my water, hot water. They say you can put it in your bottled water just to make sure that your bottled water gets the alkaline. You need to put some in your water bottles, because a lot of the bottled waters that they say is real spring and all of that stuff really ain't. They lying. They've been lying to us. So they say you can put some baking soda and some natural salt to make it alkaline, microplastic. So I've been doing all of that. I've been putting a pinch, a little, sometimes it's more than a pinch, but I'll be putting it in my water. Hot water in the morning to push that old heavy stuff out that I don't know that they don't put something in. It's just crazy. It is just really, really bizarre. And we wonder why we always sick. And before I go, let me say this. I was telling one of my older sisters this. Even when I feel like I'm sick, I told her that I have noticed since I've been really paying attention to what I put in my body and what I have given up, even the stuff that I love, and cheese was one of. I feel like cheese make everything good. Do I sneak? Yes, I do. But when I stay away from milk and, really try to keep it plant-based, I don't get, even if I feel under the weather, I don't have mucus. She said, "What?" I said, "No, I've noticed. I do not, even if my nose can be run, I don't have that, that SN word. I don't have mucus, even if I think I'm bronchial or sinus or whatever. I don't cough up stuff like I used to." She said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, I noticed that. I don't have mucus. And I haven't had it for probably at least 2 years. Now, because I ate some macaroni and cheese today, in the morning, I'ma feel kind of nasally, but as far as like blowing my nose and anything come out, I may have some drainage, some sinus drainage or something that it may triggers, but If I stay away from stuff and I take those supplements, those natural stuff, I won't have infection, the inflammation. So I know it's what they saying is true. Okay, y'all, I gotta go. I'll be back probably around, what time is it? Y'all done took up all my time. It'll probably be what time is it? All my batteries is gone. Probably around 10:30 with something different. Okay, y'all tripping. We done went to the doctor. We done been over to Israel. We done been to, did we go to jail? We done been all over the place. We done been to the hospital. Oh my God. Thank y'all for the support that I received. My jewels and gems. Thank you that I didn't have to pull teeth to get well, I did, but not all night long, to get the likes up. So I really appreciate y'all. Mwah. Bye. I see y'all later on, probably around 10. I will be sleeping. Okay. But you can always play it back. I need to start cutting them up. I'm gonna have to break this one up. This is 4 hours. Bye, y'all.